All right. Testing, 1, 2, 3. All right. Sorry about that. Oh, come on, Twitch. You're screwing up on me now. Come on. Pull that up. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. Wanted to make sure everything was in here. Yeah, you tried, Tenwin. You tried. Sorry, running a little bit behind. Was trying to get started on time. Ended up starting just a little bit late. Let's just dive back in. We're not going to be getting as far as we did yesterday, but I want to just keep going because we did some good progress yesterday, some good speculation, some good story moments.
Right.
And I don't even remember. Oh, right, we are in the library, the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. Oh, no entry to the archives. Is this the archives specifically? Am I going to get in trouble if I walk past you? Okay, no, apparently not. The closed door. Ah, I see. Oh, the Saints' War Part 1. There's much debate with historians as to when the Saints' War actually began. It is widely accepted the event that instigated is the sanctuary flight of Red Saren citizens to the Deerwood. This led to direct strife between the two nations that escalated into battle, the Saints' War. But it is this author's opinion that the war truly started many years before. After the miracle of the Verdant Forlus, as it came to be known, Weidwin quickly gathered followers, drawn to the stories of Eothas' miraculous prophet. His powers grew eventually. Weidwin had gained enough support that he confronted the imperial governor. Assisted by a collection of knights and nobles swayed to his cause, he marched on the capital city. The governor was allowed to live, but was forced to abdicate power and leave the colony. This was not from any understanding or easy acquiescence from the governor, but because of what happened when Weidwin entered the governor's palace. As Weidwin approached the governor, according to accounts, his body turned into something that was no longer human. His flesh became luminescent, his head transformed into pure blinding light. Other accounts suggest that Weidwin had become a being of light at an earlier time, when he was whipped in the public square. The outcome of his visit to the palace, however, is uncontested. The governor, knowing there was no way he could oppose an avatar of Eothas, relinquished all power to him. The people then asked Weidwin to lead the colony. He accepted, earning him the name Divine King of Red Saris. Weidwin's rule was virtually uncontested. Initially, this was because everyone was awed that a god had chosen to manifest itself and lead his people. This changed when Weidwin began punishing the allies of the old empire and the poison of the world, what he considered corrupt churches or church leaders of Eothas. Scrutiny escalated, and soon worshippers of Eothas were also being punished for mere perceptions of heresy. Members of other religions were also added to the list of the persecutions for following different faiths. This caused large segments of the population to flee Red Saris for the Deerwood, begging for sanctuary. This would cause strife between the two nations. The people of the Deerwood knew that they could not sustain explosive population growth if Weidwin's rule were to continue unchecked. They also feared that his eye would turn from Red Saris and land on them next if nothing was done. This was exactly what ultimately happened, and open war broke out as Weidwin moved to spread his dominion into the lands of the Deerwood. Interesting, given the fact that we came over here originally to be a settler, so obviously the Deerwood was still having some population issues. Keeping population up, I should say, in the aftermath of that. Daily affirmations of focus and efficiency. Have we read this one? Yes, we've read this one. That was I'm pretty sure we saw that in the blacksmith's place before. Oh, the final journal of Jonas. Tomorrow I become the effigy. Tomorrow I become Skane's embodiment on Eora. Tomorrow my master chokes on his own whip. For months we met by secret conclave to plot our landlord's demise. All the while working the fields as if our hearts were content. Skane teaches us the plot with the mind while keeping one's face impassive, inscrutable. Fair fights are for those with armies. The quiet slave is our whetstone, our focus, in our worship. Our cause finds focus, clarity, and possibility. Tomorrow my master chokes on his own whip. Came before your arrival, so wasn't that surprising, considering the offer was spread after a big loss of people. Yeah, true. By the time you read this, I will be dead. I pray Skane does not abandon me for speaking of my plotting, but a son deserves to know how his father died, for I volunteer to be the effigy. Skane will inhabit my body, using this old farmer's simple flesh as a puppet of godly rage. I have been shamed and anointed. Tomorrow morning I will be your father in name only. As my manhood will be removed, my nose and ears removed, and my useless mortal eyes will be replaced with flint stones, through which Skane might see the world. Yeesh. My son, I am sorry for the lies that I've told you these past few seasons, but Skane demands secrecy. Even your mother knows nothing of my furtive service to the quiet slave. Curse my name if you must, but never weep for me, for I die for the betterment of our community to smite our Lord's corruption from the face of Eora. Tomorrow my master chokes on his own whip. Tomorrow I become the effigy. Oh, okay, so there's... Yeah, you mentioned Skane before. There's a pretty good idea of how he is. Missives of the Hand Occult. Dearest brother, or was it sister? Explain what the effigy is. I'm assuming it's a lesser avatar of a sort. Considering that they mentioned that Widewind was considered an avatar of Aothas, a living embodiment, I have to imagine that a effigy is more akin to a sacrificial offering that then allows the god to manifest a portion of their power within the real world. That would be my guess. Where were we? Man, this a book, Man of Thuggish Bearing, stormed into my library the other day. Man, and I helped him find a book on the construction of an arquebus. I thought it proper service to Whale to steer this man towards an illuminated manuscript on the subject of whittling toy soldiers and other miniature props. Unamused by my solution, he shrugged and said, "What's an answer without a question? You did not find my spiritual rhetoric helpful or amusing." And he punched out 2 of my teeth. Oh, Jesus. Tassart, welcome, welcome. Not much, not much. We're just delving into Pillars of Eternity, making our way through the Halls of Revealed Mysteries, I believe is what this place is called, which is giving us a lot of lore on the and background on the universe right now. My apprentice claims that she saw the eyeless face in her dreams the other night. I admit I was so mad with envy that I at first refused to believe her. Whale, forgive me for such a lapse of judgment. She described an amount of brilliant blue hooves with a featureless face surrounded by a swarm of eyes, no 2 eyes alike. What's your stream schedule? I thought I posted it, but it is essentially Monday. It's going to be Sunday, Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We always start at 11 a.m. Eastern, and we always run until at least 2 p.m. Eastern, although on Sundays we will sometimes run quite a bit longer. Up for FPS games? I've considered it. Right now we've been doing a lot of CRPGs that I've got in my backlog, but I've got a couple games on my computer for first-person shooters that I like. Your streamer voice are pretty? Thank you. Thank you. I've gotten a couple compliments from my voice. Thank you very much. Most of the FPS games I like, though, are single player. So I've done things like Halo, campaign mode. I've got the Metro series on my computer. Metro is one I would really love to play on stream at some point. The Metro series is quite good. The Stalker series is pretty good. Maybe do some of the old Call of Duty campaigns. I know I have a few of those in there. Sure, I'll follow you after the stream. Cultic is a great FPS game. I'll have to add that to the list, Tenman, because I haven't heard that one. Oh, thank you for the follow, Tessart.
Tessart is now aboard.
I have got to get a shorter sound effect for that, but every time I try to shorten it, it breaks. No, I guess we'll be stuck with the longer one. But yeah, thank you for checking us out, Tessart. Thank you very much. And Sint, I saw that you came in as well. Oh no, it's the end? No, we just started. We just started. Oh, sorry, where were we? No 2 eyes alike. She claims Whale ignored her questions. She can't recall any specifics of what was said. In fact, my apprentice seems to have forgotten many things since before the visitation. She cannot tell me where she grew up or what she liked to eat. Essentially works like an Eversor assassin. You create a minor avatar and the effigy goes wild, kills people before dying itself. Yeah, it sounds like it's a one and done, burn out the person. You read 6 minutes to 6 hours? No. Not on a Monday. Not unless somehow I don't have work today, which is, I'm pretty damn sure I have work today, so. That is absolutely not happening, Sint. As much as, given that we had a pretty damn good session yesterday, as much as I would like to stream this game for 6 hours, it's just not going to happen today. At first I was so envious of her for having seen Whale with her own eyes, but it seems Whale's visit was to conceal, not to illuminate. I pray she endures the test of faith and can look back at the event and feel the joy of mystery. What is an answer without a question? Last week I felt the solution was ignorance, but after Whale's visit I feel a road without length is closer to capturing the riddle. I worry my apprentice will look back at her visit from Whale and feel cheated, robbed of some moment of clarity we all thought we were owed when we first joined. I tried to tell her she was lucky, but she was too young to understand. What is an answer without a question? May I be dead and my soul scattered to the winds before anyone knows for certain. Okay, I can kind of see why gods like Skane and Whale are a bit more obscure and not as worshipped by other people. Effigy of Skane is a horrific creature called into being by those who definitely oppressed, willing to commit unspeakable acts. Ah. The privileged blood of a person of wealth or high blood, this blood must be fresh and the effigy must consume every drop. If the offering is accepted by the god, which is not guaranteed, Skane will manifest in an effigy and become a nearly unstoppable and pitiless vessel of the god's power. Usually in a gruesome manner, the effigy falls dead. True appearances of the effigy are shockingly rare. In the most recent recorded case about a century before the present day, an effigy reportedly led a backwoods peasant rebellion during which an entire noble family was captured, flayed alive, and nailed to the roof of their estate to be devoured by birds and flies. So yeah, pretty much it fitting in what it is. If an avatar is a living embodiment of the god's power, a effigy is just a temporary one-and-done use of such. Here's part 2 of the Saints' War. Widewind personally led many of the battles during the war, exhibiting extraordinary supernatural powers. He seemed virtually untouchable on the battlefield, able to burn or disintegrate his enemies with beams of blinding white light. With a god on its side and possibly some said inhabiting him, he was thought to be indestructible. It appeared that he may have been until the Battle of Helgot's Citadel. The people of the Deerwood knew that they would lose the war if they could not at least slow Widewind down. Engineers, priests of Magrin, and a few others working in secret, some say with Magrin's direct help. See, this is what I mean. Every account of the Godhammer is like, well, they might have had Magrin's direct help, and even Durance doesn't seem quite sure that what they received was direct guidance. I think something is fucking with all of the followers of the gods by faking being their god when talking to them. Developed a weapon they hope would be able to stop a god. 12 feet in diameter. There's that fucking number again. 12 followers to create it. 12 feet in diameter. 12 people to run distraction on the bridge. This number keeps showing up. Filled with a variety of chemical and magical explosives, the bomb was rolled under the Evan-Dwyer Bridge. Part of the foundation was excavated in order to allow them to entomb the bomb in the bridge itself, ensuring its total concealment. 12 Deerwooden men and women volunteered to stage an ambush on the bridge to keep Widewind on it until the bomb could be detonated. The battle was short, bloody, and ultimately final. The Dozen, as they came to be known, were able to delay Widewind on the bridge. The bomb detonated, killing Widewind, the 4 remaining Deerwooden volunteers still alive at the time, and over 50 Red Saren soldiers who were marching on the front line with Widewind. It was at that moment that the Saints' War simply ended. The remaining Red Saren forces were easy to rout. Even though they had more than enough men and equipment to finish the siege, their leader, previously thought invincible, had just vanished in a rain of metal and stone. Panic set in and the Deerwooden troops sent them away with ease. From that point on, the bomb was known by the name Godhammer. Even worked its way into everyday conversation. As such, as Godhammer ended the Saints' War, came to be a standard phrase to express unequivocal certainty. Less certain is the fate of Aothus, who has not spoken to his followers since the explosion of the bomb, and is presumed by most to be dead. Lest some concerned citizen express their worry or other industrious, or the more industrious think they could reproduce the result, the author would put such thoughts from their heads. Since that time, there has never been another documented explosion of such magnitude, and efforts to locate the engineers and clergy responsible for the bomb have been entirely fruitless. Godhammer was a unique, fortuitous occurrence. Its like will never again be seen without divine intervention. And Bareth, yeah, we've seen the many faces of Bareth before. Oh my god, there's so many books, so much lore. Excerpts in the Sermon of the Struggle, Orochian Calendar, we've seen that one. Selected correspondence of the Giftbringer Eden, and True Stories from the Living Lands. Sing, O ocean waves of Andra's sorrow, of her unrequited love for the unattainable moon. Sing of the ocean's sorrow so that we may never forget our own. Each day the tides reenact Andra's longing for the great moon. The waters reach out at high tide, yearning for the heavenly body, to slump into low tide when the moon proves unattainable. You asked me once why I loved Andra so dearly. How could I go from a life on dry land to being a devotee to the goddess of oceans? I sing of the ocean's sorrow so that I may forget my own. It is Andra's message that speaks to my heart. I have devoted my life to helping others discard painful memories, for that is the gift Andra gave me. When I lost my young daughter, my wife and I were inconsolable until the gift bearer offered to take my toddler's toys and cast them into the deepest waves. Truth be told, I and the other gift bearers I know have never even spoken to Andra. She is largely silent. When she does speak, she uses floods and tidal waves instead of words. But we sing of the ocean's sorrow so that others may forget theirs. Andra's story, the story of desire unanswered, actually matters to people like you and me. Magrin cannot steer you to victory over sadness. Hyleia cannot force joy down a crying throat. Only Andra can give us the strength to persevere when life seems without worth. And that is the answer to your question regarding why I love my goddess so dearly. Okay, another of the more minor gods that we haven't seen as much of. Only the hardiest of explorers would dare take the long, dangerous trek to the living lands. While there's no denying its beauty, the diversity of plant life alone is an herbologist's dream. The inherent risk in blithely trekking through these pristine hills is more than most should undertake. Let me take a moment to tell you about the land itself, the rolling hills, greenery, and sun. The whole area feels like a seclusion of hills and valleys, each with its own ecosystem. While the declaration is a tad extreme, it can almost be said to be true. The combination of sun, geographical location, proximity to fresh water, valley depth, and the existence of hot springs has given the living land a wide breadth of flora and fauna. Walk down a hillside into a valley and you will find lush verdant hills. Climb the next rise and you might see nothing but rock and boiling mineral springs. And the creatures. In my travels, I've seen it all, and this place never ceases to amaze me. Trolls. I will never forget my encounter with the trolls of the living land. I had just narrowly avoided being consumed by a giant plant, more on that later, and was running as fast as I could to get away from it. I broke the crest of the hill, and the valley below was wide, green, wet, and covered with low, thick-branched trees. Vines grew everywhere, between the trees, across the tops of them, down to the ground. It was a mess of vine and greenery. Cautiously, I worked my way down towards the basin, keeping an eye out for anything suspicious, and it's a good thing I did so. I noticed not all the trees appeared to be trees. I froze, dropping to the ground in an effort to minimize my appearance. One of the trees moves, lumbering slowly away from the cluster. It was then I realized it was a troll, stepping out from among the group of trees it had been resting against. With a few more steps, I would have walked right into their home. The camouflage these trolls exhibited far exceeded any I'd seen before. I hope to return again in the future and observe them more. The insects. While I've never seen them, I've heard reports of giant insects in the living lands. Centipedes, flies, mosquitoes, and hornets, all 10 times the size you would see them elsewhere. Imagine making camp. You just gotten everything set up. There's a nice fire going next to your shelter. Something is gently simmering in the cooking pot. You sit down, finally feeling you can relax for the day. You feel it tickling at your feet, insistent and prolonged. Reaching down to brush whatever is away, your hand comes in contact with something hard, long, and flexible winding its way around your boot. You look down to see a centipede the size of your arm casually making its way over your foot towards the far side of your camp. You would get out of the camp, wouldn't you? That's exactly what my friend did when he realized he had started his fire over a centipede nest. Oh god. Yeah, I mean, one centipede, not too bad. Entire nest of centipedes, that's a bit much. That's a bit much for me. Living lands is the setting for Avowed. So they should, if they're smart, they're gonna get a lot of mileage out of this by making some really wacky enemy designs and weird monster encounters for that one. That would seem to be the smart move from the way they're describing it. Lest we forget, do not let your guard down around the plants. I had discovered a wonderful collection of giant flowers. They were bright pink and grew in a circle around a central stalk. Oh, what an aroma! I lack the words to describe how delectable it was, sweet, fruity, and light with just a hint of something tangy. Looking closer, I saw some berries growing on the stalk in the center of the flowers. I just had to have them, so I started pushing my way through the flowers. Then the vines growing around the base of the plant began to twitch. The blooms turned towards me, and it was at that moment that I saw the blooms weren't actually flowers, but hinged jaws. I had been fooled by its camouflage. I quickly retreated, pushing my way back out just in time. The blooms slammed shut. If I had still been standing there trying in vain to reach the berries, I would not be writing this book today. Yep, you started a fire on top of a giant ant's nest. Sucks to be you. Oh, more. Enigmatic god of cold and the white that wends. Ooh. Young students are often confused by Bereth and Rimmergans. Rimmergans. Bereth and Rimmergan's seeming overlapping roles in holding dominion over death. Bereth oversees the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Rimmergand oversees the cold, destructive act of death itself. This difference is often difficult for novices to appreciate until they've lost a loved one and endured the absence of for a time. It is Bereth that determines we will be reborn just as certainly as we die, but Rimmergand is the executioner's axe. Rimmergand shows us that all life ends in stillness. I need only show them the symbol of Rimmergand. The bone-white auroch skull found carved within the most ancient of Ingwithan ruins. It is the symbol of death and doom in every culture. Any child with 4 winters under his belt needs no introduction to this most ancient of symbols. Rimmergand embodies not just death, but all manifestations of collapse, be they famine, plague, or simple bad luck. He's basically the god of entropy. It's not just death, he's a god of entropy, of destruction, but in a, not necessarily in a primal reaching out and breaking something kind of destruction, but rather in the breakdown of things. Primal god, silent and inscrutable as death itself. He makes himself known by his passing, not by proclamation. There are innumerable stories of the god's terrifying passage through the lands of Aora. When the beast of winter stirs, bitter winds and beastly howling following the creature's every move. Wherever the beast plants a hoof, all life withers to dust. The faithful of Rimmergand insist that even another god's life can end in stillness. For they claim... Oh, sorry about that, I hiccuped. They claim the other gods must flee from the beast of winter's mastery over death, but we know not if this boast holds true. Though the beast of winter is shrouded in snowy clouds, those who have seen the shaggy white monster claim that the souls of the fallen can be seen clinging, or perhaps frozen, to the beast's fur. The dwarves of the boreal south have numerous stories that tell a similar plot. A brash hero seeks out the beast of winter to rescue the souls trapped in its fur. These tales never end well, for even if the hero saves their beloved soul, the hero tends to die in the process, for it is not a proper tale of Rimmergand unless the hero's life also ends in stillness. Okay, very interesting. And I guess that is a very key point to make between in a universe in which reincarnation is a definitive fact. You need to have a god who essentially oversees the actual reincarnation process, but you do also need a god who represents death itself as a concept, entropy and decay as a concept. The white that wends. How long have I been wandering? I can no longer tell. The days are an endless white. The cold breath of the wilderness biting at my neck. All I feel is the insistent hand of the wind pushing me forward. Where does it take me? Where did it start? On the boat? Was there a boat? I remember one. A storm, a disaster. If I dwell on it long enough, my mind rebels, and so I walk, and she appears to me. How many times has it been? Once? Have I seen her before? Is this the first time? Did she ever leave? All my mind can do is ask questions, each question leading to another. The answers frighten me. So I walk. She stands with her head cast down. Long white hair hangs in front of her face, obscuring it from my view. She holds out a hand, pale, thin, palm up. She desires my help. She wants my soul. Something screams, inhuman, primal. It overtakes me from behind, wrapping me in a terrifying blanket of sound. My skin contracts a shrill course through me. I turn to face my pursuer and see only vast white emptiness. This is that in the sequel, not the game, but Rimmergan is also the god of oblivion, indeed a god of entropy, but also the god of inevitable, complete end of everything. Yeah, I mean, the concept from that book seems to be he is, to use a more poetic title, he is the god of stillness. And essentially, since anything can be rendered still, then he is the god of the inevitable end of all of creation. Again, he does not seem to pass judgment on any of that. From the description, even the form that he's depicted as is as a animal, which basically seems to imply that he is just a natural process. There is no appealing to him. There is no trying to seek out his favor. He just is a natural concept, and he cannot be dissuaded from his path. He will simply do as he is intended to do. And one day that will entail the ending of the world. She is gone, like every time now. Was this the first time? Has she gone before? My stomach answers with a growl. Hunger. The beast consumes me from within, and there is no stopping it. I must eat. I see water. Am I seeing it now? Is this a memory? Confusion slips its fingers inside my head and murmurs softly. I cannot quite hear it. I strain to no avail. The water remains. It must be here. I drop to my knees and hear the whisper-like crack of the ice beneath my knees. I am sitting in the lee of an ice mountain. The protection it provides does little to prevent the wind from driving the pins of snow into flesh. I am shaking. Where is my left hand? I move it. Nothing. I look down and see it moving. It is wet and caked with ice. My head falls back against the ice and I press the edges of my memory. My brain whispers back with a soft, crackling sound and a scream, wood upon wood. Tearing, cracking, I close my eyes. She appears to me again. Time fragments and blows around me with snow that obscures my vision. I am walking. My hand is on fire. I see the needles piercing my fingers as she reaches hers out to me. She raises her head. Black eyes staring blankly, mouth open and closed as if she speaks but I cannot hear. Then the scream. Closer this time. If I still had emotions, I would be quaking. I turn, as I have so many times before, to see what monster has found me, and she is there. She puts her hand on my chest. The cold burns through my clothes. She leans in, her mouth presses against my ear. We are waiting. I open my eye. As I lie on the ground, I see torn fabric, rocks, a broken wooden box, an unsuccessful campfire. Where did it come from? Did I make it? How did I get here? I roll onto my back, unable to stand, exhaustion upon my chest and holding me down. She stands above me. I see frozen tears upon her cheek, and she does not move. She does not threaten me, but I know this is the end. Her mouth opens, the inhuman scream that erupts from within her digs through the blackness that shrouds my mind, and I see her. The wood that tore beneath her feet. The water that swallowed her. She fades, replaced by the face of the devil that has followed me. Was it always there? In my madness did I view it in a different form? Is anything in my mind true? Time bleeds, my vision shimmers, distorting the face that approaches. Its dark eyes watch closely as it walks forward. Its fur is matted in stains, its fangs glisten in the fading light. Its enormous hands, tipped with jagged blades, rise above my head. I close my eyes. I am coming. Sounds almost like the Rimmergand, I would imagine. And here we have the actual temple part of everything that's going on here. And possibly this painted eye seems to move whenever you turn your back. Is his perspective as a god? Rimmergand has a plan. He is marching forward with a set goal in mind. Oblivion comes at a set time, not before, not after. He is firm in that perspective. Similarly, Rimmergand, when agreeing to something, will agree to the letter of the agreement, and no begging, bargaining, or compromising will change that. Does that make sense? Rimmergand doesn't trick you because he already has your Neverland in mind. Yeah. Now, as I said, he's not quite an animal in totality, but he is sort of an animal in the sense of him being a natural part of the world. There is no duplicity in him. There is simply, I am moving from point A to point B. I am the only one who knows where point B is, when we will arrive at point B. And nothing will change the fact that point B, just as point A was, is inevitable.
Hail and well met.
An elderly dwarf surveys the stack. Her skin looks tough and wrinkled as a walnut. Despite her stature, she manages to look down her nose at you. You are welcome to look around, but let the priests and the scriveners continue their searches. She shoots the nearest robed figure a withering glare. Wouldn't do to give them any other excuses. What are they looking for? She sizes you up, stroking her chin. And I could trust you to bring it back, I suppose. She scowls at the robed Presian. You certainly couldn't do worse than this lot. There were thieves that made off with an ancient scroll of Whale. They intended to blaspheme by selling that which should remain hidden, a secret of the 100 visions. Her wiry eyebrows arch over her spectacles. The guards caught one of them, but were overzealous in interrogation. All they could piece together was something about a farmhouse and the road to Deerford. Track the thieves down. I honestly do not care what you do with them, but you will bring back the scroll. Whale rewards the persistent seeker, and so will I. Ah, an ancient scroll of Whale. Now there is a fine prize. I mean a worthy task. What else do you need? I had some questions about your missing scroll. Ask. What do you know about the thieves? Very little, save that they were foolish enough to believe they could steal from the God of Secrets. That and that they were fleeing to a farmhouse. The white that wends in Rimmergand is 100% connection. The people of the Rimmergand, pale elves very rare in the north, almost all worship him and his cold entropy. Okay, makes sense. I'm imagining that has something to do with the DLC, because isn't the DLC like winter and ice themed or whatever? I've seen that from the pictures, and it shows up on the main menu too. How do you want me to handle them? As I said, however you can. Kill them, rob them, leave them. Makes no difference to us. She waves a hand and smiles. I consider it one of Whale's mysteries. What is so special about this scroll? Whale is the god of secrets. If I told you that, it would cheapen it, wouldn't I? She cackles. It is a parable, the kind that nourishes the inquisitive mind and poisons the foolish. Alright, let's talk about something else. Who exactly are you? The DLC is in the White March, the mountain pass to the northeast of the Deerwood. Oh, okay, different. Okay. I am the High Archivist of I am the High Archivist of the Okay, so that's just written badly. I am the High Archivist of the Hall of Revealed Mysteries. She coughs loudly into her fist. And I am too old and busy to be bothered with inane questions. Oh, even just one or two? Kana sighs. Oh, it's okay, Kana. Don't worry. We'll find somebody. We'll find more people to talk about the lore of the world. It's okay, buddy. Could you tell me more about Whale? Her smile reveals a row of crooked teeth. Ah, that's the rub, isn't it? Whale is the god of things hidden and revealed. The more of the 100 visions one sees, the more one has yet to discover. Though we often call Whale he who sees and is not seen, it is neither male nor female. To assign any definitive characteristic to Whale is to dismiss another essential part of its divinity. Kind of feels like the guy that appreciates a pet. Yeah, he seems like a well-meaning dude. He seems like a well-meaning dude. And it's nice to have a bard-style character who doesn't immediately fall into the usual, either the over-exuberant in an annoying way trope, or in the classic TTRPG horny bard trope. A term of reverence for Whale's many revelations. Despite the name, they are infinite. Each epiphany leads to yet another enigma. Ah, and I thought I was busy. Okay, well, not much else we can know there, and I do believe that's everything here. Alright, let's get moving. Lots of little lore tidbits. Lots of little lore tidbits. Also, hey, he's got my head. He's also got my robes. We're gonna need to come back and kill him. Yes, we picked up Sagani on the last, Tenwin was a bit insistent that I go grab her before I ran into a bunch of other combat encounters, and I was quite glad that he did. She's a ranger done extremely right in terms of gameplay. Yeah, so far her mechanics make a lot of sense, but she does it. It also helps that the way that Pillars has their stats set up, she doesn't feel gimped in either category. She can both shoot a bow and stab somebody with a dagger. She's not done in such a way where it's just like, oh, you're pigeonholed into doing one or the other. You're heading to Cadenua to pick up the letter. Okay, Tenwin, I remember your suggestion. I wanted to finish up, Copper Lane, so that means the Scriver's Dormitory and whoever Lumdala is, and then we will go double back to Cadenua. I don't want to leave an area half done. Otherwise, I will either forget or it will bug me. Spilled tea, empty ink pots, and one detailed sketch of a fire-breathing old dwarf are all that remain of a long study session. Highly encouraged to have interplay between ranger and pet instead of bear tank me shooty shoot. Oh, yeah. No, her mechanics already look good. We're kind of setting her up more as a sniper of sorts with a lot of the bow talents, but even just having Itumak around is already helping quite greatly. I really do feel like we need a second frontliner though, because Ader is getting pushed to the limit trying to keep all 6 of our sorry asses from getting attacked. Ooh, another book. We've gotten that one. We're not going to take their money. We'll probably get caught if we're not careful. What else? Staghorns. No, nothing in here. Confirmed in the sequel specifically by another character that knows that Khan is not a good singer, which is hilarious.
How do you do?
By Whale's eyeless face, you're one short ogre. Why are you green, and how are you getting the ducks to keep flying around you like that? Let me guess, you smoked a lot of white leaf, or did you get your hands on some of the snowcap? Claps his hands and laughs. Snowcap, snowcap. Oh, so few people know snowcap, much less ogres. He beams at you and nods his head. You're a scrivener? I am a scrivener. I read books, I write books. I once ate a book, but only 'cause it looked like a sweet pie. Or perhaps it was a sweet pie that was baked to look like a book. Oh. Oh, and I'm also a collector of herbs, flowers, plants. I sell them. I eat them. What can you tell me about this place? This is where the scriveners who work at the Hall of Revealed Mysteries sleep. I'm a scrivener. He sniffs. This place smells like old stockings. Well, show me what you have. My dude is just... I don't even want to know what he's making here. Yeah, so these are the snowcaps you mentioned. Are known to be dangerous for improperly treated samples are akin to poison. Once properly prepared, however, they can propel individuals into a trance-like state in which it is claimed many have received visions of importance of significance. The mushrooms feature primarily in important Glenfathan rituals, for their elders hold the secrets behind their safe use. Ah, okay. Yeah, my dude is gone. He is not on this plane of existence right now.
I've got it.
Ooh,
Finished.
we can pop that open. And oh look, it's more snowcaps. The elders just want that fine high. I mean, it's not uncommon in a lot of cultures for those kind of things to for any kind of religious ceremony to have some kind of, not even necessarily hard drug, but some kind of drug component. The rancid stench rises from the base, and the dishes at the top of the pile are flecked with the morsels of meat and cheese. Those at the bottom are coated in a slimy fuzz. Oh dear God. Yeah, this is a college dorm, all right. All we need is someone to accidentally set something on fire, and that would be about it. That'd be all we're missing. Sturdy bunks are topped with thin blankets and even thinner mattresses. Yeah, try not to burn the place down, guys. But seriously, please don't. Ah. Okay, all that's left is this. Whoever this Ludmala, I think is what it said was. Lumdala.
I'll take a look.
No, nothing in this room. The painting depicts the famous scene from The Light of Dawn in which the traveler and the ghost happen upon a starving man. No idea what that is. Hey, this isn't counting as stealing. I'll take that. Okay, yeah, we met her last time. Oh, which means she's not here. That works for me. A Life and Discoveries of Pangram. Huh. Mention the name Pangram to anyone with even passing knowledge of animancy, you find yourself in a very long discussion. Publicly reviled, but privately lauded as a hero, Pangram's history is at turns revolutionary, horrific, and mysterious. Pangram was fascinated, some say obsessed, with the concept of animancy. It consumed his life as he dedicated everything to understanding it. He would frequently travel to Glanfath and the Deerwood to visit the Ingwithan ruins. There he would take notes and make sketches, bring anything back with him that he could help him unlock the mysteries. After years of study, Pangram had reached the point where he could no longer conduct research on his own, and took an assistant, Heligophane. Isn't that... Oh. Isn't that the guy we... Oh, dear. Oh, dear. That's the guy we found down in the sewers. Shit. Soon, Helig was making trips to Erglanfoth in Pangrim's stead, gathering knowledge while Pangrim stayed behind to experiment. The partnership quickly bore fruit, and Pangrim made a breakthrough, one that would irrevocably change his life and the general attitude of animancy forever. With the specifics of speak English. While the specifics of his experimentation will never truly be known, the rumors and stories that still circulate tell that he had sent out inquiries asking for live subjects to help with a dangerous experiment that might change their life or could end it. Those who were already dying were especially encouraged to imply. Responses were overwhelming, and Pangrim had his pick of numerous willing bodies. That is when he had his breakthrough. He discovered a way to fix a soul, anchoring it to its body so it couldn't leave at death. He had discovered eternal life. His research and life's work had resulted in the single greatest discovery that animancy could hope for. His findings were published and spread throughout Valia and beyond. While some groups, the Wodekin Church for example, decried his work as nothing more than blasphemy and heresy. I mean, I would have honestly thought that the Baratheons would have been the first to speak up, given that their god is in charge of reincarnation, but I guess the Wodekins are always the loudest of the squeaky wheels, so to speak. Many put it into practice. Everyone wanted the chance at immortality, but everything comes at a cost. It quickly became apparent that simply restraining the soul while keeping the person technically alive was doing nothing for the body, which continued to decay, devolving and warping the soul that was now trapped within it. The creatures it created were dangerous, carnivorous beasts that killed brutally and indiscriminately. The backlash was ruthless. The practice of Pangrim's discoveries was quickly outlawed. His works were collected and burned. He and Helig were branded heretics and hunted, chased from town to town until Pangrim simply vanished. Helig was tracked down, captured, and brought to trial for the atrocities committed against Valia and its people. The trial was barely more than a formality to bring charges against him, as everyone knew what hand he had played in the disaster. He was sent to prison for years, but eventually released once public outrage died down. Not long after his parole, he disappeared as well. Occasionally talk surfaced that a copy of Pangrim's theorems had been found, untouched by the purging flames that destroyed its brothers. These rumors seldom end up being more than that. Many groups and wealthy individuals have formed sending out a call to anyone who will listen. Find us a copy of the theorems. They offer gold, jewels, status, anything they can give to entice adventurers to help them achieve their goals. For there are those who would give anything a chance at immortality, even becoming a monster. Interesting. And Helig is the one down there. Okay, I'm really reconsidering helping him, although I also now question who the hell at the local sanitarium thought it would be a good idea to hire on literally one of the original necromancers. This wasn't just a necromancer, this is one of the two original.
Is it very cold? What creatures wander the tundra? How are your leaders chosen?
Do you always ask this many questions?
Well, that's just to get us started. Let me get out some parchment for notes.
Ask whatever you want. If I don't know, I'll make something up.
I could just imagine Kana pulling out his paperwork. She says like, oh yeah, go ahead and do that. If I don't know, I'll just make it up. And Kana's face just dropping like, you would lie? But I want to know the truth. Can we approach, okay, so no, that's still broken, yeah. So if we try to go to here, it won't take us to the far side of the bridge. It's going to take us all the way around to the other side. So no, we just want to go to Caed Nua. Yeah, the other bridge is still broken. So takes us a day just to get back there.
It's very nice. We're not sleeping here, are we?
Really? Aloth? I mean, we're getting this place back up and running, my dude. I mean, come on. Hell, we even did the renovations on this fucking place. Let's go see what it looks like. Don't complain just yet. Dick. Oh, it's not fully refurbished yet. Or did I refurbish another part of it? I could have sworn I told them to refurbish the mansion. Huh. I'm gonna say, you don't hear me talking about how Adir is a bunch of...
And this keep will be a sight to see.
Yeah, we'll get there. You can rest here now? Oh, it just still looks like shit on the inside. That's the problem. Okay, Aloth, fair enough. We haven't gotten far enough in the renovations. There are still issues. Oh. Greetings, my lord. I bear an urgent message from Chancellor Warren of Defiance Bay. He requests that you meet him at your earliest convenience within the Ducal Palace. Your claim on Caed Nua has been called into question by the Gathbin family. Earl Badamar has issued a ruling on the matter, but both you and Lord Gathbin must be present. Who is Chancellor Warren? He is the arbitrator of all legal matters for Earl Badamar of the Grasp. And who is Lord Gathbin? An old Adiran lineage, I believe, sir. He looks around the Great Hall. The former lord of this stronghold and a distant relative of Lord Gathbin allied himself with the losing side during the War of Defiance. I will go meet him then. The Chancellor awaits you in the records room of the Ducal Palace in First Fires. The messenger bows and then strides away. Hey buddy, I was literally in Defiance Bay. You could have just found me on the Copper Lane rather than coming all the way out here. Alright, safe trip back, I guess.
My lord, you've received a letter, delivered with some urgency as it happens. I thought the messenger might swoon, poor dear.
Well, he probably also wasn't very used to talking to a statue. That probably didn't help.
It's from Stalwart. Apparently the mayor, Renengild, has heard of your success here at Cadnua and hopes you can be of aid to her people as well.
Need more astropaths? Except, Sint, you forget with astropaths, you don't actually send a message. You send, like, the impression of the idea of an imagery of a message. Which is useful sometimes for massive interstellar communication, but is a real pain in the ass when you just want to send a letter to somebody. This is the DLC opening up if you want to do it. We'll get to it eventually. And when it's up to you, you can literally do it at any point. Oh, okay. But still, let's get a bit further into Act 2 before we go trouncing about any DLC. That is a long way for a letter.
People like you come few and far between. And in this case, I believe Renengild is correct in suggesting that your experiences here may give you an edge. It seems she's intent on gaining access to Durgan's battery. And she's offering quite the reward to anyone who can get inside.
You say that like I have any idea what that means.
A reward, she says, for getting into the battery. That's a reward of its own, surely.
What is Durgan's battery?
The dwarves of the battery fashioned Durgan's steel, and with it they crafted the finest arms and armor the Deerwood has ever known. But the keep has been abandoned for centuries, and none remain that know their secrets.
Oh, right. The Durgan Steel. We did see that get mentioned when we were dealing with the quest for the dagger.
There are many legends concerning the battery. As the Earl told it, the dwarves fought amongst themselves, each seeking to use the battery to further his or her own ambitions.
DLC is recommended for level 7, and second level is 14. So, okay. Okay, so the second DLC is firmly like, you need to have finished the first DLC, you need to have done everything before going into it. Whereas the first DLC is very much like, yeah, just kind of do this when you're ready. But the second part is very much, no. Second part is end game. Like, because if you remember correctly from what you said, 14, what was it, 12? Level 12 was the cap for the original game, 14 for the first DLC, and then 16 for the second. So, second DLC is very much, this is the end game. Do not come here until you are absolutely ready. Can't start before finishing the first. Yep, that makes sense.
Greed and cruelty brought down the battery, and now the spirits of those same dwarves roam the halls. Whatever happened, the battery has been impenetrable ever since. A shame. I don't doubt that there are great treasures still within those halls.
Well, perhaps I shall pay the stalwart a visit.
Oh, just think! The greatest of the dwarven strongholds, ours to explore!
I should mention that among those rumored to have answered Renengild's summons is a certain group I believe you may have an interest in.
Oh?
Followers of Woodica, intent on reaching Stalwart and the battery. I do not know what they seek there, but I thought it worth mentioning, given your interest in the ruins at Defiance Bay. Now that I've delivered Renengild's message, there is also a local matter of some concern, my lord. A mercenary band has been sighted to the northeast. I believe they mean to take Consul Hot's tower, and I don't expect the Archmage will go quietly.
Consul Hot's one of the greatest wizards of our generation.
Aloth fidgets and flutters, vacillating between anxiety and excitement. He appears to be at a loss for words. Oh. She mentions the follow actually updates depending on how far in the story you are. Oh, okay. Yeah, don't, it's all good, Tamwin. It's all good. Thank you for the heads up, though. If archmages are really that powerful, I can't imagine that a single mercenary band is going to be much of a threat to him. And Aloth is obviously excited to go.
The Torn Bannermen are a deadly fighting force, and Consul Hot himself has sent many travelers to their graves. I would caution you to stay clear of the region if you do travel to the White March. It is not that I doubt your courage, my lord, but Consul Hot alone boasts power of a different scale altogether to those foes you have faced thus far. Given more time, perhaps, you will match him.
Torn Bannermen really have no chance. I mean, I imagine the real concern is more big mercenary army moves into area, big mercenary army fucks with everything there, which causes problems for everybody. Archmage eventually gets tired of their bullshit. Archmage decides to solve problem in one go. Archmage drops the fucking sun on their heads, regardless of the collateral damage. I've got a feeling that that's exactly how things are going to turn out in that kind of scenario. It's not necessarily that the Torn Bannermen and him are going to get into a big fight. It's that eventually the Archmage is going to get tired of the dicking around and just decide to erase them from existence.
If the Bannermen succeed in their efforts, I fear they may turn their attention to Cadnua. I will keep you apprised of the situation, my lord.
What do we know of Consul Hot?
A famed Archmage. I am given to understand that the Brackenberry Sanitarium puts much stock in his work, as regards the manipulation of the soul. His spells are widely circulated. But he is poorly regarded in many circles. Some call him a madman, or else cruel and barbarous. He must be very old by now. Perhaps that is why the Torn Bannermen believe they can best him.
I mean, really, that just gives more credence to how I think things are going to go down, which is he's eventually going to get tired, he's going to pull a Clint Eastwood, get the fuck off my lawn, and then he's going to drop the sun on their heads. And what else do we know of these Torn Bannermen?
Little enough, I'm afraid. The Torn Bannermen are well supplied and well organized, and there are rumors that they are backed by an unknown benefactor.
So basically, once we are at level 14 and ready to go do part 2, we should do Consul Hot first, is what you're saying, Tenwin. That seems to be the implication.
They have proved remarkably effective in the past, and they are certainly a threat now.
Understood.
Safe travels, my lord.
Oh, we got free experience for that. Oh, so close. We're almost leveled up. So now we've got a few more of those quests that it with DLC 1 and is absolutely an in-game thing. So it almost... Oh.
Very nice. We're not sleeping here, are we?
Shut up, Aloth. It very much sounds like Consul Hot was added as a teaser for being like, once you're able to do Consul Hot, you'll be ready for part 2 of the DLC. Okay, so we have cleared all that out. Cracked Hold Bluff. Is that the area she was talking about? Where he is? To the north, I'm assuming is what they were talking about. Yeah, because that's the path that's going up there, and that's the only direction that we've got. More is an optional endgame boss in DLC 1. Well, given how you said you shouldn't do Consul Hot until you're high enough level, and you can do part 1 is at level 7, I highly doubt that that was quite what their intention was. White March is up in the corner. Yep. Oh, it opens its own... Oh, okay, it opens its own map. Very nice, very nice. So the question is, how do we get to Deerford's? Because we cleared out Copper Lane. We have cleared out Copper Lane. So your recommendation, Tenwin, was to do Deerford and a lot of the side quests here. And I'm thinking that's probably a good idea before we really delve into the rest of Defiance Bay. I'm a big fan of the DLC. It's so good. Well, don't spoil it for me, since I can't wait to find out. I really can't. But for right now, we still have more stuff to do. So I'm thinking... Woodland Plains, and then maybe head south and clear out Searing Falls and anything else that's down here, then double back to Stormwall Gorge and then up to Deerford Village. I think that would be a good plan. Because Because there doesn't appear to be anything else to the south, so clearing out this stuff down here seems like a good idea. So we're going to make our way to... Take you 1 day to arrive from Caed Nua. Okay. And the Western Barbican has been completed. Very nice. Eastern Barbican, Western Barbican, the Bright Hollow Restoration. Okay, so that just allows you to rest there. Other upgrades will unlock resting bonuses and probably also clean up the inside. Now, I believe, Tenwin, you recommended the barracks next, which would make sense. It is going to be a bit pricey, but we will go ahead and start renovating that. Ooh. Oh my... You knew this was going to happen, didn't you, Tenwin? I don't blame you. I explicitly asked for no spoilers, but you knew this was going to happen. Oh, fuck. Alright, Edair, run in first. Itukan, keep back.
Wait.
Oh, we're fucked. We are so goddamn fucked. Creates a mystical shit. Well, I guess. Oh my god, we're going to die. Well. Okay. We have learned from our mistakes. We have learned from our mistakes.
This keep will be a sight to see.
Yes, Kana. Yes, it will. Alright, fair enough. We have now learned of our mistakes, and we will adjust our plan accordingly. We're going to Stormwall Gorge now. Worm, Drake, Dragon. Oh, so that wasn't even the basic ones. That was the mid-level ones. Oh, great. Fuck me. Alright, let's try that again, shall we? Oh, we completed the West Barbican. I wonder what we should make. I think we should grab the barracks. I think that's a good idea.
Sure.
Okay, let's keep moving. Ooh, mushrooms. Gimme. Thank you. There is a quest objection for you in the plains. Hold on. Wooden plains. No. Tell someone about the plot. Cliff. Endless paths. Find the ruins. Get to know Durance. Really? I mean, we'll double back and check, I guess. Oh, after we deal with... We can double back to the wooden plane. I just don't remember getting any... Like, there's no quest saying that I need to be here? Oh. Abandoned farm on the path to Deerford. Oh, is that the one? Oh, okay. Wait. Travel to the Duke of... Oh, it's that fucking thing, isn't it? Yeah, the house that we passed by on the way up here. Okay. For some reason, when she said on the road to Deerford, I just assumed it was further in than what we had been. Oh.
Yeah.
More enemies spawned. That's the first time that's happened.
Wait.
No. There we go. That went much better than the last time we had to deal with one of these pieces of shit. Why do you have a book? Why do you have a book, Ader? That doesn't change anything. There was no point in that. That should be in there. Okay, there we go. Yes, Ader's allowed to read, but... we keep it in the stash for a reason. Oh, hi. I love how they're just attacking me off the gate. Oh, that person has a grimoire. Okay, hold on. Go ahead and grab him with that. Go ahead and swing this way, Ader. Head down here. Oh, Jesus. And in an open field, too. This is not good. Fuck. And he's got a... Okay. Okay. Okay, that guy got right past him. Keep attacking that. Go ahead and use that on him. Durance, go ahead and give me a... Where? Why can't I select? Why can't I select? There we go. Knock, get in here. He's chanting away. Good.
Ready, Watcher.
What else do we have? Oh, Swift Aim. That's not on. That was a bad idea. Go ahead and drop that on him. Give me... No, not Psycho-Vampiric Shield. What's the one I'm looking for? I have an outer ally. There we go. Cast that on him. Why can't you cast that on him? Oh, releasing Electro Burst around the ally. Okay, okay. There we go. Good damage. He's still up. He's still up. That guy's still up. Kana, target the mage. Durance, you do that too, if you would, please. Aloth, you've got another one of these. Go ahead and drop it on them. Thank you. Oh, god damn it. I forgot to turn his AI back on. I go ahead and... No, just keep attacking. There we go. And we're going to... Soul Ignition. No, not you. Why can't I... You. There we go. Soul Ignition takes care of him. Everybody swarm the guy. Okay, that still didn't go too badly.
Ready, Watcher.
Yeah, Sagani has her bow. Otherwise, she would be running straight into melee, and we do not want that. Okay, what have we got? Some money. Lockpick. Scroll of Whale. This ancient scroll is bound with silver thread. The broken wax seal is stamped with the shape of an eye. The scroll at first appears to be gibberish, a collection of symbols and characters with no apparent connection. As you study them, however, you could swear that the characters begin to move. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, they shift and crisscross and realign, and you're able to read them. A simpleton seeks a wise man, said to know the answer to every question. Please, says the simpleton, you have to help me. The world terrifies me. I wake up each morning and I don't know why. I make choices each day and I don't know what will happen as a result. I go to sleep each night and I don't know whether it will be my last. When the simpleton finishes, he notices that the wise man is weeping. The simpleton apologizes profusely and asks the wise man what he has said to upset him. The wise man shakes his head and wipes the tears from his eyes and answered, some people have all the luck. Okay, that's a good one. No, I get it. I get it. It's ignorance is bliss writ large. I get it. Oh. You have found it. Now lose it again. High Archivist Grimda asked me to bring this back. The voice laughs. Would you appease a dwarf or a god? You think this theft was an accident? The voice seems to shift, as if the speaker was constantly changing age, race, and sex. Well, I don't have the ability to do that, so I'm just going to keep using a normal tone of voice. Whale is being cheeky. Yeah, I'm kind of getting that feeling. My relics were never meant to stay in one place for long. They are meant to be lost and found. It is the search that gives a thing value. Take it to the Black Meadow. Find a drake that faces east. Bury it neath its skull. Okay. Okay. Far be it from me to, yeah, mail armor. Far be it from me to ignore God. I am so out of my league right now. Oh, the Sun-Touched Mail of Hiron Wrath. Minor Spellbind, Sunbeam, and an immunity boost. Oh. Minus 50% poison effect tick rate, minus 50% disease effect tick rate, and has the Sunbeam effect 3 times per rest. With a DR of 9. The Paladin Highland Wrath came across a countryside village beset by ghouls and made it his life's work to rid the world of the undead. He believed that their very existence was a blasphemy against the gods and a scourge of all kith. Having observed the creatures prowling by night and skulking in dark places, he fell prey to then common misconceptions about their nature. He had his order create armor that shone with the light of the sun, believing them vulnerable to daylight. Unfortunately, he tested his theory in the cleansing of a crowded vampire den. Vampire Den. Discovering too late, the light only alerted the creatures to his presence. Published research by animancers has since dispelled many of the dangerous myths surrounding the undead. Even in this universe where they aren't having to be forced to be lawful good, paladins still sometimes are lawful stupid. Alright, he said to take it to Black Meadow. We're taking it to Black Meadow, guys. God literally spoke directly into my head. I am not going against this shit. No thank you. Not in a universe where the gods like to be as active as this kind. Nope. Also, how the hell did that not level us up? Oh my god, we are so close. Fucking hell. He said to find the one that is facing... I sure hope that this fucking told me. Looking east. So that should be this one. The drake's skull faces east. The soil underneath it soft and moist. As you cover the ancient scroll with the last handful of soil, the shifting voice speaks in your head as once more. Well done, Watcher. Huh. You know, I just had the thought, though, because I did just do that whole rant last stream where I was like, I think something is misinterpreting the gods or causing them to miscommunicate with their followers. And then I just went ahead and followed a god's orders for no reason. I think I'm part of the problem. Oh god, you're right. How did we miss an entire corner of this map? That's a forest lurker. It's 2 forest lurkers. Well, that's fine. We can take control of one of them. Itumak, hold back until Aeder has the fucking aggro. Now run in. Oh, it actually resisted. Oh, it's immune to charmed. I have become error.
Yes?
No, not that. Go ahead and give me that. Hana's still doing his thing.
What?
Endurance. Go ahead and give me that for fire damage. And then I'm gonna run in over here and stab. Keep Eder alive, please. Thank you. What would be a better one for this? Let's go ahead and... He's weak enough. We're gonna remove the deflection from him. There we go. Everybody team up. It's okay, Eder.
Got him. I have them.
There we go. There we go. Fight is notorious early game because 2 forest lurkers are nasty when you have 3 companions. Yeah, so I guess it's a good thing we just completely ignored this corner. Aha. What is this? Trees and shrubs have grown around these ancient bones, shrouding this monument to Galawain beneath their leaves. Though, to be fair, that kind of sounds like that's perfectly within Galawain's MO. Scroll the Ray of Fire, scroll of Tanglefoot. Very nice. Let's go ahead and grab all that. And we leveled up, but only us and Aeder. Everybody else didn't. God damn it, game. We'll go ahead and grab that. We'll go ahead and boost my lore a little bit. Yeah, I'm probably going to keep forgetting it. I'm probably going to keep forgetting it. 10-1. I'm not very good at remembering what I've equipped to people sometimes. Ooh, okay. Level 3 powers. What else have we got? Generates a rebounding wave of psychic feedback between the Cypher and an ally that causes crush damage to any enemies caught between. Okay, see, that's better than the antipathic field because that will that's an actual foe beam rather than a anything beam. It isn't consumed. No, I remember that it isn't consumed. I just need to remember to actually use the damn thing. Causes enemies in the area effect to believe the worst fears have been realized, sickening and frightening them for the duration. Causes an AoE for 21 seconds. Sickened, which reduces all attributes by 1. That's pretty good. Fortitude and will are reduced by 10. And then frighten reduces resolve and dexterity by 2 and accuracy by 10. Oh, that's pretty good. So if they get both, then resolve and dexterity will be reduced by 3 apiece. That's actually really good. And it's a... Is it a single target? No, enemies in the area of effect. So that's actually pretty good. Mentally links nearby enemies to the target, forcing them to experience a portion of all damage the target suffers. Oh. 25% of all mentally links nearby enemies to the target, forcing them to experience a portion of all damage the target suffers. Which means I could throw that on Adair, and every time he gets hit, oh, that's pretty good. Cast Secret Horrors, all the NPCs scream as they think they're NPCs in a Bethesda title instead. The ultimate horror of an NPC, you're in a Bethesda title and you just watch the player hit the F5 key. Welcome to hell. Okay, Pain Link is a pretty good one. Fractured Vision violates an enemy's memories to bring vivid recollections of past failures to the surface, leaving the target hobbled and weakened. So hobbled reduces dexterity by 2, movement and reflex, and weakened reduces might and constitution. Fortitude and will are reduced by 20. I would think that would work the most then. So, yeah, direct damage doesn't seem to be level 3's strong suit. You realize you just got stuck in a wall the player's approaching, knowing that in 0.1 seconds you will glitch into the sky. No, I have to leave before the player character loads this cell or else I'll... Pop. I do like that this one lasts for a nice long time. And it does seem to have a pretty decent area of effect. It's going to be Secret Horrors or Pain Link. I just feel like Pain Link becomes a bit better the more tanky that Adair gets. Mentally links nearby enemies to a target, forcing them to experience a portion of all damage the target suffers. Requires 30 focus, range 8 meters, allied target, 25% of all damage reapplied to nearby enemies over 25.2 seconds. Maybe next level. I think Secret Pain Link is good in theory, but you want to have Adair have as high defense as possible, which means he takes less damage. True. That's the main thing I was concerned about. Because there's no real health tanking class. You don't have a barbarian really kind of style class in this game. So you don't have like a health tank who's meant to take damage in order to get more stuff. So yeah, I think Secret Horrors is the best choice. Greater focus or psychic backlash. Once per encounter, target is stunned for 4 seconds. Whenever... Oh, wait. Passive once per encounter. Oh, interesting. And then we have the various... Warrior's pretty good at health tanking with the constant heals. I could see that. We're going to go with the greater... Can't really think of anything else that would really help. Oh. 5% penetrating shot. 20% of hits converted to crits against targets with low endurance. Oh, okay. By the way you engage with everything on Adair, it's not good enough. Yeah, I can kind of see that. Psychic... No, I think greater focus is probably the best choice. More focus means more spellcasting means more debuffs, which is exactly what the Cypher wants to do.
Yeah.
And Adair... He's got good athletics. We're going to go ahead and up his survival. And we'll just hold on to the other. Bonus knockdown. We try to remember to use that. Wary Defender gives +5 to all defenses except deflection. And Rapid Recovery gives him a healing ability. Oh, okay. So that would, so if I was playing a monk character and had a Cypher NPC, I would then want a Pain Link ability because that would actually work on him. Okay. What else can we do for defense? Hold the line gives him another engagement ability. Those increase his various defenses. Graceful Retreat allows him to disengage. Superior Deflection. Just straight up 5 deflection. Yeah, why not? Adair's just going to be even better at tanking and holding the line. Yeah. Sounds good to me. So I'm assuming Yes, we go back to Grimda, and we probably get chewed out by her, because she's probably going to be very annoyed. Or we'll tell her that her god told us to do it, and she'll actually be quite happy. Alright, back to Stormwall Gorge. Avoiding searing falls like a goddamn plague. Oh dear.
Ready, Watcher.
Okay, don't know where the deer's going.
I'm here.
Can you
Got an arrow for this one.
Yeah, we killed the deer. Alright. So...
Ready, Watcher. My bow's ready.
Yeah.
And it exploded. Okay, good going. Good going, Sagani.
I shall be quiet as a calm sea.
What in the
Which
hell?
is not very quiet.
The bright sun casts its light on a pattern in the ground. You kneel to get a better look. The stone here has been carved with a few simple shapes. A small circular indentation marks the center, and a much larger circle surrounds it. You see what appears to be writing above the two circles. Look at the circular indentation. The indentation is shallow and smooth. It looks like it was intended to hold something specific. Look at the outer circle. Several shapes have been carved along the outer ring. Though most have been worn away, you can make out a crescent above the center. Given the writing, the characters are completely foreign to you. No doubt the remnants of some long-forgotten language. Wait a while. Oh, is it a giant sundial of some kind? You wait for a few hours, marking the sun's journey across the sky. Oh. Oh, god damn it, another one of those things. Does it have any help? If it's alone, we should be fine. Well, we're about to find out. No, it is not alone. Go ahead and give me... And we're all taking damage because they just have non-stop goddamn AoEs. Give me a casting spell on him. Endurance, give me move forward slightly, and then give me a AoE heal. Hey dear, go ahead and... No, she's almost dead. We'll hold off that one. Now go knock her over. Thank you. Oh. She just called in a fucking... Okay, cast that on him. Thank you. Oh, I'm down. I didn't even notice. Son of a bitch.
That's not very helpful.
Are we having problems here? Come on, everybody. Shoot. And she's gonna cast that another spell that deals damage to everybody for some god-awful reason. Yeah, because they have a spell that just seemingly hits everybody for massive amounts of damage, and I fucking hate it. I don't even know what it was. It still doesn't even tell me. Yeah, no, see, there's nothing in here about me taking damage from them. It sure would be nice to have any idea what the hell keeps happening when they do that. Severe wound, 50% healing received. That honestly isn't that bad. Aloth. I guess we'll boost his survival slightly. That's fine. Okay, what else have we got? We have level 3 spells. It's an infestation of magic. Yes, but I wish it would actually show me what it's doing rather than just, oh, they cast a spell and everyone in my party suddenly loses half their health for some god-awful reason. Have their skin affected by hordes of burning maggots inflicting... Oh, it's raw damage. That's why it's been doing so much shit. The more wounded the target, the greater the damage. Who designed that spell? A target at maximum endurance takes no damage from the spell. I hadn't taken it... That doesn't make any sense because Adir was the only one who had been attacked up to that point, so why did everyone else in the party take damage? Why did I lose half my health when I hadn't taken any damage up to that point? I don't like that spell. I don't like that spell and I don't like those enemies. There's no other way to put it. Minus 30% attack speed, minus 2. That seems like a good idea. Slow is usually a pretty good idea. Caster draws upon his or her life force to gain an increase in speed. Yeah, no. In the area of effect. Yeah. Arcane Veil grants 50 deflection for 14 seconds. Grimoire Slam, worthless penetrating blast. Concentrates the power of blast, negating some of the target's damage reduction. Probably a decent idea. Bonus second level spell. Yeah, I was already thinking that. None of the others really, like, do anything to help, so. We just want Aloth to be able to cast more and more spells every single level. That's the way to do it. As for you, we'll go ahead and boost your survival slightly. We've got some more second level invocations. So what else have we got? Counter shouts 2 bouncy means of pure life that restore endurance and grant immunity to frighten and terrify to all allies struck with them. Ooh. That's pretty good. You haven't used any of the spell because he has to do his whole chanting thing first and then he's eligible to use his spells. And usually by the time that happens, I've completely forgotten that he even has them. I love CRPGs. I never claimed to be very good at CRPGs. Foes charmed. We have plenty of charm abilities. We don't need him carrying another one. Yeah, so he requires 4 phrases chanted. Gives plus 25% or 25 defense against disengaging and defense against hobbled. I'll catch you, Benfeed. Terrified for 16.8 seconds. Well, we're kind of getting to that point because the way the combat system works here, where it's real time with pause, kind of does give me some incentive to learn more about it. I'm just not very good at it. Summons 2 Will-O-Wisps. That's not the worst. I like the idea of Kana being a summoner just to provide yet more targets that the enemy has to deal with. Summon 3 worms. That's not a bad one either. Yeah, that's not a bad one either. I actually like that one. Yeah, we're gonna make it so he summons more worms. He doesn't seem to have any class features that would be really good. No. Secrets of the Run, no. Heart of the Storm, Sign of Flame, Shot on the Run. Ranged recovery when moving. Well, he really shouldn't be moving, but... Weapon and shield style, no. Superior deflection, no. He doesn't need that. Marksman? Plus 5 accuracy against distant enemies, not the worst idea. Gunner, 20% reload, that would be good. Small mineral, no, we don't need that. So yeah. Chantress can summon a dragon. That sounds awesome. That all you're telling me is yes, Kana should be a summoner, and yes, you should keep going until he can summon a dragon. We're gonna go ahead and give him Gunner, because I think that might be the best choice. That or the brutal opportunity of a sneak attack, take advantage of opponents when they're the most vulnerable. Maybe that would be a good idea. But hey, we may as well work our way towards it. Sort of combat. Interesting. No, we don't need unarmed damage. Oh, that could be useful. That gives him a friendly aura. He's usually in the back with the rest of the party. That would give a friendly aura to everybody in the back with a +4 accuracy. That could be useful. It's either that or it's going to be marksman, or not marksman, gunner. So that way he can fire his gun a little bit faster. I don't think there's anything else that I would want. It's once per recovery. Does not use a grimoire. The effect is not quite as powerful. That doesn't really... No. No. We're just gonna go with Gunner. Nice. Simple, straightforward. Sagani, yet more survival, yet more stealth. Thank you. Then, what have we got here? Modifies wounding shot. Hobbled for 11.5 seconds. Becomes deadlier, making his or her wounding shots more accurate. Vicious Companion, that might be a good idea. Merciless. I think the 3DR bypass is going to be way more useful as the game goes on, as things get more and more damage resistance. Yeah, we're going to go with the Vicious Companion. Okay, all that we're waiting on now is Durance to level up again. It doesn't feel like there's much else here. Another deer.
Steady does it.
Nope, nothing here. I mean, that is usually true of most Ranger-style games, provided they don't completely bork how the class is designed.
Nice and quiet.
If I remember correctly, in Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, the pets are so good that most high-end, min-maxed builds basically dip into grabbing a pet pretty much no matter what the class is. Oh, hello. Is that an Orlan? I'm pretty sure that's an Orlan. What's he doing out here? Hey, buddy. What's up? Oh. Oh, he has a portrait. Are we actually finding another companion character? Chewing on a piece of uncooked meat, a small Orlan dressed in tattered leathers offers a mumbled greeting and a wave of his hand. Despite his pleasant smile, the upper right portion of his face is in a sorry state. An eye patch stitched with a stylized eyeball wraps around his head, and his ear is a mangled remnant that twitches and spasms while the other ear perks up at your approach. Next to him is the splayed carcass of a deer that appears ripped open by bear or wolf. You hear a grumbling rumble next to you. Sagani places her hand on her stomach, and her eyes on the carcass. Still fresh. Itumak's pink tongue lolls out of his mouth.
If this is your deer, you need a new game warden. Name's Heravius. Hungry? I can't eat all this. First catch of the day, help yourself.
He smiles, bits of sinew and tendon dangling from bloody lips, his one good eye twitching. He takes a step back, spreads his arms wide, and presents the carcass to you. A lot of these characters, are you referring to the Orlans, or are you referring to members of our party? Because the way they phrased that made it sound like a lot of the members of our party are perfectly fine with eating raw meat. Oh, Sagani does too? Okay, that's a bit weird, but alright, alright. I mean, I would think you'd want to cook that first.
And ruin the original texture? That's the best part! Just see for yourself.
He chuckles and wipes deer bits from his lips. Turning his attention to the corpse, he plunges his hands into the deer's vivisected abdomen.
Eat up!
With a smile, he holds the truncated end of the beast's innards to the front, in front of you. I was actually considering, because we've done more clever than stoic. We've only done like 2 stoic options so far in the whole game. After you. His one eye locks yours, and he tears off several inches of intestine with one ripping bite. He slowly chews, his eyes squinting at you.
So delicious. Now I know the deer had elderberries for its last meal. Are you sure you don't want to try some?
He diligently chews and swallows the offal with a forced smile before smacking his lips. So, what killed that deer?
One ornery Stelgar. Though looking at the deer's insides, it had a malformed but delicious heart, and would have been dead within the year regardless.
He chuckles and scratches the stump of his half-severed right ear.
Gallowayne chose a fitting end for this fine animal. Pardon me, I shouldn't pray with my mouth full.
He bows his head to the deer, starts to breathlessly chant, but then stops abruptly. And what brings you here, friend?
Other than the delicious venison, new trees to document, new animals to sketch, new sights to be seen. I've learned as much as I can from the druids of my circle. I'd rather wander and learn than take root and stagnate.
You do stoic, he'll laugh at you. I mean, that seemed to be... I was already thinking that, given that he specifically chose to tear out the intestines and offer it to you.
So if you're traveling to Deerwood and need another set of hands, I'd welcome the safety of a group.
A druid's assistance would be most welcome.
I'm trained by the celebrants of Hawk and Ivy of the Fisher Crane tribe. I know more than my share of nature magic, and, well, I don't shy away from a good fight. I have business with the druids that live near Twin Elms. So long as we find ourselves there eventually, I'm happy to follow along.
Oh, you're welcome to join us then.
Splendid! It'll be an honor to run with a pack for a change.
Now it's the question of who do I swap out? Because I'm already kind of liking him as a character, but I've really liked everybody we've picked up so far. There really hasn't been anyone that I want to not have, is the problem. Once a character has been dismissed from the party, they will return to either the Blackhound Inn in Gilded Vale or to your stronghold if you have acquired it. It's hard choices. I like Sagani so far. I love Kana for his dialogue. It's one of the cases. I don't remember to use half of Kana's abilities, but I love having Kana in the party because everything he says has been golden so far. Everything that happened last session with Durance now makes me want to keep him around at all times. Honestly, here's the problem. So, like, Adair, Kana, Durance. I sometimes forget to do stuff with them, but I love them all as characters. Aloth, I use a lot of his abilities, but he's probably the weakest of the group as far as character interactions. Aloth diss the keep, send him back to it. Yeah. I'll be honest, I was thinking it. But that's the problem. It's like combat utility-wise, Aloth has been amazing because he has all of the spells that allow us to do choke point defenses. That's the problem. But hey,
Farewell.
we haven't found out what druid spells look like, so why don't we try that right now? I'm gonna need to adjust my formation, aren't I? Because it probably, yep, it fucking moved everybody. All right, Edir back up front, Kana back here, Durance. Let me see. You got 4 slots to work with, because let's face it, Adair ain't leaving at any point. No, we need a tank. I am not a tank, which means Adair is the tank, which means it's not changing anytime soon. Oh, wow, they actually gave him a custom model. He's missing, he actually is missing his ear on that side. Okay. So how do we want to do this with him? He's got a little bit of survival, a little bit of mechanics, a little bit of lore, a little bit of stealth. We're not really missing any skills, or any skills as far as choices go, so I'm thinking once per encounter characters with the athletics can use the second wind ability to recover lost endurance. A higher athletics score increases the effect of second wind in conversation script encounter. Okay. Well, we do want to give him at least a point in survival, and after that, let's at least give him a couple points in athletics so he's got access to second wind. And other than that, I don't know, lore and, I mean, I don't know. No, mechanics is worthless on anyone who isn't going to be actively doing it. We'll hold on to that last point. Okay, what are we dealing with here? Wild Strike Burn. The druid's knowledge of the force of nature allows him or her to automatically inflict additional burn damage when spirit shifted. Corrode, Freeze, Shock. That's all the different choices there. Okay, hold on. Actually, you know what? It would be probably helpful if I actually read what the hell a druid does. Okay, he has spells. He has various... He's Charm Beast. There are thin bolts of lightning striking enemies in the area. Nature's Mark, which reduces deflection and accuracy. Oh, Spirit Change Stelgare. Oh, wait. Didn't he just say that the deer was killed by a Stelgare? And his ability is to transform into a Stelgare? Okay, I see the joke now. I see the joke now, asshole. Being very funny, aren't you? Conjures a giant pair of razor-sharp talons. Sunbeam. Tanglefoot. Vile Thorns. Winter Wind. Okay. Oh, he's actually got a solid stat line, all things considered. He's just got low resolve. good damage, good constitution, good dexterity, good perception, good intelligence. Oh, and he is a Glenfath. I was wondering, because you said most of the Orlan are Glenfathan, but I didn't know if it was all of them, but he is definitively a Glenfathan. Interesting. +2 damage reduction for 5 armor, minor threat. 10% of hits converted to crits when attacking the same target as an ally, so he wants to flank people. Flurry attack, 33% attack speed. Okay, okay. His health is actually pretty solid. Or no, his endurance is not solid. Never mind. For some reason, my brain saw these and swapped them around. I'm like, wow, he's got a lot of fucking... No, health is the long-term stuff. Okay, okay. So yeah, I don't mind giving him a little bit of everything. As for this, we get corrosion damage from my setup. It looks like his spells have a couple of shock and freeze spells. So I would think then if he's going to be in wild form, I'd probably want him to have burn damage to give a nice broad spectrum of damage types. AoE abilities, buffs, healings, and spirit shift. Yep, sounds about right. Sounds about right. Forces of nature allows him to inflict additional burn damage when spirit shifted. Deals plus 30% damage as burn. Okay. Yeah, we're going to go with that. Next level. Keep boosting his survival as high as it'll go. He picks up... Causing me corrosive damage. Okay, so druids have a really wide variety of spell types as far as damage goes. Firebrand, Hold Beasts, Insect Swarm, Taste of the Hunt. Ooh, continuous raw damage. Primary attack. Okay, caster's melee weapon becomes an ideal instrument of hunting, adding continuous raw damage to its attack and restoring endurance to the caster with every hit. Oh, okay, so a druid tank is possible if you build them right. Because it sounds like they've got the abilities to keep themselves in combat for quite a while. Oh, and we've got a friendly damage reduction AoE. That's very nice. Keep boosting his survival. Go ahead and boost his lore. Ah, but now it's the question. Do I want to give him more damage or do I want to give him more spells? Yeah, that's true. With the way that their attribute system works, you can kind of tank with just about any class. I should probably get the bonus spells. Or I guess it's a question. Do I want to keep him out of spirit form much, or do I want to put him in spirit form much? I imagine, Tenwin, that if you build the cleric properly, you can do what a lot of D&D 3.5 clerics did, which is the cleric itself is not tanky, but the cleric has so many buffs that they can make themselves tanky. Admittedly, at that point, you are pretty much sacrificing all of your flexibility to just focus on dumping spells on yourself. Yeah. You're just relying entirely on using your spells as buffs on yourself, basically, at that point. Again, not as efficient, but it's doable. In general, you can't go wrong by just having more first level spells. Just having more spells. You just can't go wrong by having more spells. Just gonna go ahead and keep giving him more survival stuff, give him more bonus spells. Okay. Yep. Okay, okay. He does that per encounter. I don't like that it doesn't really tell you anything here. Alright.
Mm-hmm.
No? Okay. Oh, I need to look at his equipment. That would probably help. He has a fine spear. And he has a fine leather armor. And he has a fine wand. Okay. But the storm spells are some fantastic AoE spells. Okay. Lightning tends to be a favorite element of druids in a lot of settings. I don't suppose there's anything we can give him. Would a two-handed weapon be better for him? I don't think so. But it's kind of weird that he has a... See, I wouldn't want a medium shield. If we run into a small shield, I'll give him a small shield because that's not going to mess with his accuracy as much. Novice's Grim. Oh, did I forget to... I think I did, because I sent Aeloth away, so he's got that Grimoire on him. I need to be careful and remember not to... Because I'm pretty sure we got all of these done, because they're already here. But if we get any more Grimoires, I'm going to keep them on my inventory, so that way we remember to take them to Aeloth. Places an AoE in an area that slowly regains allies' health and increased defense. It's good to put into the party. Of course it is. I mean, that just already sounds like a good idea. The medium armor. Having additional spells bound to it isn't the worst idea. Yeah. I don't mind that in the slightest. Well, it is 15% more recovery speed. Okay, never mind. Hold on. I don't want him to lose too much of his speed. And we can give him... Go ahead and give him the DR bonus. God. We still have like no belts. We have like almost no gloves. We have almost no boots. The game just keeps giving us more and more and more freaking neck items for magical abilities. It just constantly.
Sure.
That's like the main thing they keep bringing us. Yeah, there was one belt and we couldn't get to it. Maybe we'll go back down there at some point and it'll let us actually get in, but I don't know. Something to do later. Something to do later. Oh.
I'm on the trail.
Hello, Dead Adventurer. Winged helm. Worthless. It's just money. Let's go ahead and grab that. Gonna eat this one too? No. To be fair, he sounds like the kind of guy who only kills. He only eats what he kills, which I can respect that for a druid. It makes sense for a druid. He didn't kill this guy, so he's not gonna eat him. No, I know that there was something we almost ran into when we first came through here. What have we got? There was a guy around here, wasn't there? Huh. Oh. Okay, that explains it. Swing us around.
Will do.
Alright. There we go. Feral Druid. Adair runs in. In fact, Adair, if you want to go in and just rush in and knock him down, that would be great. Everybody else, focus fire. I want to see what this does. Oh, Jesus. Okay, he just straight up becomes a lion man. Okay, we need to grab the one over here. Oh, dear God. Everyone is... Oh, my God. This is not good. Durance, move forward slightly. Give me an AoE heal. Adair, knock one of them over, please. I don't even think you can, but that would be great if you could. Stab him. Stab him, please. Oh my God, lightning is just getting called down on our asses. Thank you, we got one of them. Okay, focus fire on that one next. Go ahead and grab him. Ow. Ow. We're still getting struck by lightning. Go ahead and use that. What does he have? Talon's Reach grants a pair of razor sharp talons dealing slash damage. Go ahead and cast that on him. Why am I still getting targeted by shit? Oh, they gave them that stupid spell where it's just, it keeps casting lightning in an area and you... God fucking damn it. It's just not stopping. It's just not stopping. Oh, so he gets to do it a second time. Fuck you. What else do we have? What else do we have? Firebrand, powerful sword, cast, inflicts burn damage, switching to another spell. Oh no, we don't want to do that. Cone of putrefaction, no. Why are we all stunned? Oh my fucking god. Okay, apparently he just gets unlimited castings of all spells at all times. For fuck's sake.
Following your lead.
Summon the fucking worms. Anything to get the fucking lightning off of my ass. He's still fucking casting. This is bullshit. It doesn't stop.
Following your lead.
Ready, Watcher.
This is fucking retarded. Drop him out. Drop that shit on his head. Drop that shit on his head. Why will he not die? Oh my god. And Ader's down. Well, fuck me. What the fuck? And Kana's... What the hell? So he just gets unlimited castings of that stupid-ass fucking spell. They just... Oh, and we haven't saved since... Except I'm pretty sure that this was... Oh no. Okay. Oh, fucking damn it. Alright. Alright. We gotta go through this. Look at the damn thing. Look at it. Wait a while. I don't fucking care. It's because... Those druids are causing it to rain, and that is why they got unlimited lightning spells, isn't it? Because I can distinctly remember in D&D 3.5 that there is one where where as long as the druid is channeling, they can just keep casting lightning. Except for some reason, somebody in Path of Exile decided that, oh, that doesn't count as an actual action. They can do all the other rest of their stuff while still summoning down unlimited numbers of lightning bolts.
If this is your deer, one ornery Stelgar. Though looking at the deers in Galloway chose a fitting end for other than the... So if you're traveling to Deerwood and need another... I'm trained. I have business with the... Splendid!
Oh, I completely missed the entire part of the conversation where he decides to talk about eating things. I don't fucking care. The game just decided to make me annoyed, and now I don't fucking care. Yes, we want him back here. We want him up here. We do not want Durance in the front. Okay, well, we're avoiding the goddamn piece of shit druids. Oh god, we have to do all of this fucking again. Next level, survival. You know, I'm just gonna boost athletics, so at least it gives us a heal. Next level, come on. There we go. Bonus first level spell. Next. Next. Bonus second level spell. Problem is, what thunder spells? Tanglefoot, Talon's Reach, Sunbeam, Nature's Vigor, Nature's Mark, Dancing Bolts, that's one. Tier 3. Brings a powerful storm into being, striking a random single enemy in the area of effect periodically with bolts of lightning that stun and deal shock damage. For 37.5 seconds. No wonder we were getting And let me guess, because all of those enemies were druids, every single one of them cast that spell. Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, that's a brilliant encounter idea. Let's just make all of the enemies spellcasters, and then they'll all cast the lightning spell that lasts for 40 seconds, so that you have no chance in hell of fighting them. Oh, and by the way, our disengagement mechanic means that if you try to run away, they're just gonna come down on your ass and get free attacks on you every single time. Alright, well, now we know the problem. We now know what I fucked up. Oh, we still have to deal with those stupid ass fucking... the stupid bloody dryad things over here, don't we? Oh, God. Oh, there's that infestation of maggots shit. 10 damage by percentage. 10 damage by percentage of endurance loss over 25 seconds. Over 25 seconds? So of course, no wonder I suddenly went from, like, taking 1 damage from the maggots to losing half my health. If it's just exponentially increasing every time you get hit by something.
Ready, Watcher.
Dominated. Soul ignition. That one. See? How? I had no damage on me, and now I have this much. Which means the next time they cast it, because there's 3 of the stupid assholes, they're just gonna do even exponentially more damage. Which is just about the stupidest fucking design mechanic I could think of for an enemy. Yep, look at that. So I wasn't imagining it. I went from having about 10% of my health gone to having 99% of my health gone in a single attack. For some reason, it won't let me use my basic healing ability because fuck me, I guess. Yep. Oh, look at that. Jesus fucking Christ.
That didn't work. Need to try something else.
This thing isn't doing the job.
Thank you for knocking her down. Everybody target her.
Good shot with this.
Save. No, I really don't like that encounter design. I really do not like that encounter design. It's like saying, oh, here's an attack that only deals 1 damage, but if the enemy casts it a second time, it deals 1,000 damage. By the way, we will now put multiple enemies who can cast this ability directly next to one another to ensure that they will always be able to cast it multiple times in a row. That and grab Gunner. Yes. I do not like that encounter design. I do not like that encounter design at fucking all. Gonna grab Vicious. I'm sorry, I'm coming off as real salty right now, but there's no other way to put it. That is horrible goddamn encounter design. That's like the people who put a bunch of party members up against like 4 wizards who all cast sleep in the first level, and it's like, oh, your entire party's asleep, and now the wizards just coup de grace your ass in the next turn. Oh, it's an Elder Lion. Boy, in comparison to everything else we've been dealing with. Why is there... Can we please move? Please, thank you. There we go. There we go, knock his ass down. Oh, Elder Lion Fang. Okay, Durance. Let's go ahead and get you leveled up. Oh, he has choice to both first and second level spells. Interesting. Needs an accuracy bonus with sword and arquebus and cast a special version of burst of flame. No, we don't need that. Condemns the priest foes. Once per encounter, area of effect, interrupt. Could be good. We'll go with the second level spells. Oh, I guess there were more of them. Oh, yes, there's a lot more of them. Okay, well, let's try this, shall we? Wait, it's centered on the... I'm sorry, what? Area of effect, radius from cast... So you can't even run away from the person. So if those druids cast that spell, it's just around them. If I try to run away from them and they follow me, it'll just keep shocking me. Oh, that is just fucking stupid. There's no words for that. That is horrible. I hate that. Yeah, would you look at that? My guy doesn't even have to do anything. He can just stand here and the fucking lions get eviscerated.
Yeah.
Oh. I didn't realize we were gonna run directly into another pack of enemies. Wait, why is it? I thought the Demogons were the good ones. Well, oh well. No, it followed him because we cast the spell over here and it's still going over here, Tenwin. It follows them. So yeah, I can't even run away from those druids over there without them just following me and still casting the spell. That is absolute horseshit of a design. And I will not be fighting those enemies this session. That's for goddamn sure. That is an entire part. That is like 5 druids. That is basically fighting 5 casters of equal level. That is absolutely fucking stupid. Somebody did not fucking understand basic encounter design. It's keeping the forest healthy doesn't necessarily mean they will be kind to you. Fair enough, fair enough. I'm just being particularly salty right now. That, like, this game has had really good encounter design since I actually sat down and paid attention to what its mechanics are. I was being really, really nice at being able to reevaluate my previous design. But that was straight up Owlcat levels of fuck you design. An entire party of spellcasters, all of whom cast druid spells, all of whom can cast spells that prevent people from attacking them in melee, all of whom can then take on an animal form so that they reduce their damage. That is a fucking bad design. Well, at least we have a druid on our team, so now I know how absolutely fucking broken they are. Oh, this leads down into here, and we can't get any further. But obviously, something will be down here, I would imagine. So yeah, we're not going to be dealing with that. We're not going to be dealing with that right now. Fuck that. Your birthday cake. I am sorry. With regards, Aloth. I'm just not in the mood. Let's just keep moving. I don't need to remain salty. We've only got about an hour left in stream. I don't need to stay this salty. Is there any... No, there's only one path to the left, one path to the right, and them. We'll deal with them later. Okay, come on. Come on. Open up the thing. Deerford Village. What? Oh, you're right. I completely missed that that was down there. Oh, okay. 10 CP per day. Oh, that's cheap. Oh, that's nice and cheap. We could easily handle that. And we can have, what, 8 hirelings? So do these, are these literally just stats and you just choose which one you want? Or do these have effects for when... Do these have specific effects for when we are in our fortress, Tenwin? Or are these literally just, yeah, you're just hiring them to hire them? There's no the only in-game difference is what stats they actually bring to the fortress. They just stand around you keeping guarded. There are events where the keep will be attacked and they will be fighting, but that's about it. Okay. So if that's the case, let me see here. Outside Linebreaker, Skirmish Archer, Vagabond Scald, Alien Shock Mage. Let me see. We will go, because we can afford 8 of them, so that's a 80 copper per day, which we can afford that. That's no problem. Hey, Justin, welcome, welcome, welcome. You luckily managed to avoid me getting incredibly salty. Incredibly fucking salty. Because we ran into perhaps the first bullshit encounter of the game, and hopefully there will not be too many more of those. Okay, we definitely want a cleric. Okay, so you don't hire multiples, it's just one. Yeah, salt is part of it. Yeah, you missed this. Don't worry, I will always upload my VODs onto YouTube. You can always run back and check them, or you can check them on Twitch. There are even more intense thunder spells? Of course there is. I do know enough about druids to know that 3rd level is never the end of the story. That is just the beginning. 3rd level is always just the beginning. But yes, Sir Justin, someone decided it would be a brilliant idea to design a thunder spell that conjures down lightning every few seconds for 40 seconds around the caster. The caster can also assume an animal form that then allows them to just run straight into the enemy and tank all of their attacks. Oh, and then they made 5 of them in one encounter and put them all next to one another. And they all have access to that spell. Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't very happy. We will deal with them at a later time. Give me the Linebreaker. Give me the Archer. Give me the Soldier. And give me the Gold-Packed Knight. We've got 3 more. We may as well. Give me the Valiant Shock Mage, the Warden of the Wilds, and the Bloodied Thug. Is that everybody? That's everybody. Okay, what do we want to buy next? Bailey, I'm thinking. The Bailey houses necessities for keeping the stronghold self-sufficient. Building this upgrade will allow you to upgrade the grounds further. Plus, we've got plenty of security right now. Okay, let's head to Deerford. Yeah, very good. Solid game design. Let's put 5 equal level casters to the party all in one group. Oh, by the way, our game system makes it so that casters aren't nearly as squishy.
The Stelgar was on top of me, and I was face down in the dirt.
Arrow to the throat. That stops him.
What? No! I was spirit shifted, and she was in heat, so I aimed for the throat, but not with an arrow.
We didn't need to know that. No one needed to know that. Who just sits down and what does the Peter Griffith mean? Who just says that after they sit down? What in the hell, my dude? Hiravius. Oh. What the? Medrith, Boar Companion, Cowled Woman, Cowled Dwarf, and a Cowled Man. Hiravius has 0 filter. Hiravius has negative filter. Are you kidding me? An elf idles by the road, watching the village across the river. He nods as you approach, and the cow figure standing near him falls silent. Oh, Defiance Bay +1. Oh. Greetings, friend. A slow smile forms as he eyes you. Heard of you. Word has been busy in Defiance Bay. He draws closer. I'm busy too, eager to finish my business and get back to the city. Well, it sounds like we're both too busy to stand around chatting then. Right to the point. Just the kind of person I want to hear. It is. Defiance Bay is an excellent name. Haven't you heard? There's a murderer on the loose. Said to have gone mad with grief and strangled a dozen healthy children when her own was hollowborn. He nods at the figures with him. We've come from Defiance Bay to bring her to justice. She's here. He nods across the river. She's hiding out in the village of Deerford. We go in after her ourselves, but the problem is she knows our faces. There's no telling what she'd do if she saw us coming, and we want to avoid any unnecessary bloodshed. Her name is Nifri. She's an Orlan. We want her to get out of town so that we can deal with her cleanly. She knows. Oh, sorry, hiccup there, or burp. I'm not even sure. Oh, she knows we're looking for her, and if someone were to convince her that it's safe to leave. If she's really a mass murderer, why didn't the Duke send the Crucible Knights in after her? The powers that be want to keep things quiet for obvious reasons. Better not to cause a fuss, and certainly better not to startle her into doing something drastic. I'll be in and out. Wife wants me to do some light renovation. Oh, of course, Justin, of course. I thank you very kindly for stopping by nonetheless. I hope you have a great day. Yeah, a bit sus. I suppose I could assist in drawing her out. She won't know you. It'll be simple. Nonetheless, I have a few questions. Give me a full rundown. What did this Nifri do? She was responsible for the murder of all the babies in Defiance, those babies in Defiance Bay. Remember? Terrible thing, but we'll make her pay, all right.
Hail and well met.
Given I haven't heard anybody talk about that, I'm not so sure that that's the entire story, but this setting is dark enough, it wouldn't surprise me. Alright. What else have we got over here? What is this? Oh. What is this? Hello. Flames dance amidst scattered offerings. Keys, coins, and tiny skulls of birds and mice are mired in the melted and hardened wax. That's a scroll of confusion. Talk to Baeldmar. No one trusts me with anything more than lighting candles.
Let's see what lies
nothing's in
Out
here.
with you. I already told you what... I'm sorry. I thought you were one of those ruffians.
Oh, squinting through a black eye. Adair grunts in disgust. Man, the times we live in.
How may I help you?
Gives you something between a smile and a wince. What happened to
I
you?
never saw their faces. Strange, hooded men asking about those ruins. Cleoban Relag. Most of the brigands who come through here asking about the ruins are looking for a few ancient trinkets. But these people knew the name, and they were in a hurry.
Okay, so that's obviously the Wodikans. Oh god, but if they're going into ruins again, that's gonna piss off the Glenfathans.
They wanted to know where Cleoban Relag was. I tried to keep it from them, but I couldn't hold out forever. I don't know what they were up to, but it can't be good.
I mean, yeah, you could start a war. Is there anything else I can help you with? The old priest nods politely. I don't suppose you could tell me where to find these ruins.
The Glenfathan tribe that guards the ruins will kill anyone who trespasses there. And they'll retaliate against us, too, if history is any indication. We've had too many fortune seekers stir up trouble of late. If I'm to tell you, I'll need to know your reason for wanting to go.
Hopefully, since we have a Glenfathan in our party, he'll at least be able to vouch for us. Oh, speak of the devil. Hiravace folds his arms and stares at you with one eye and a scowl. Ah, so this is where I say go into the ruins and I'll kill you. And that's when you say, Hiravas, I am a watcher, and you're no match for all of us, and we've got a good reason to do this. And then I give up trying to argue with you and leave you to dig your own trespassers' graves. I'm only being half metaphoric. We sometimes make dear Woodens dig your own grave before we kill you. When the kids hear about it, it's a fabulous deterrent. Okay, I'm liking Hiravace now. I'm liking Hiravace a bit now. No, but I think the game is just assuming that we have talked on the road or something. I would assume that would be the case. I'm fine with suspending my disbelief on that. I think the game map even said it takes 6 hours to march from that meadow we were in to Deerwood, or to this village, so he could have easily been brought up along the way. Also, given the nature of our companions, do you really think Kana, of all people, would keep quiet about us being a watcher now that there's a new member of the party? I put my money on Kana. Deerford, yes. Deerford, not Deerwood. A dangerous plot is unfolding there, and I have every intention of stopping it.
If that's the case, then we may already have trouble headed our way. I'll have to take you at your word. You'll find Cleoban Relag here. Whatever trouble you find there, please end it quietly and try to stay out of the ruins.
Yeah, exactly, Sin. It would either be Adair or it would be Kana. Like, Adair or Kana are definitely the ones who are going to just be like, yeah, we're traveling with a watcher. Yes, we are traveling with a watcher, and we are seeking out great sites of power and interesting things of lore. Like, seriously, Adair and Kana are the two who absolutely would not shut up if that was in this kind of party. I'm absolutely convinced of it. Meanwhile, Durance is the other stoic person who's just standing there and just goes, and occasionally gives grumpy old man noises. What can you tell me about Deerford? Well, folks here tend to keep to themselves, as they do in most of the towns this deep in the Deerwood. They can be suspicious of travelers, but with all the brigands and refugees moving through the area, I don't suppose anyone can blame them. Grumpy old man noises followed by back in my day. Yep. Mumble, mumble, Godhammer. Mumble, Magrin the whore. Yep. This is a temple of Berith, correct? Is there anything you can tell me about him? I mean, we've probably gone over most of this with the books. Berith is the most universal of all gods. It oversees portals and cycles of all kinds, life and death included. Under Berith, an ending is merely a passage to another beginning. Berith has many representations across time and culture. In the Deerwood, you will commonly see it depicted as the Paled Knight or the Usher. The Glenfuthans, however, know it as Benwyn I Anku and Anku I Benwyn. Actually, I would like to know more about this one, and maybe we can get Hervice to speak up a bit. What can you tell me of this Benwyn I Anku and Anku I Benwyn? It means life and death and life respectively. You can see them as two skeletal figures, one male, one female. Explorers have found them carved opposite one another in doorways, though I know of no particular legends that speak of them. Oh, I was hoping that Hiravice would speak up. Who's the Usher? Kith have written stories, songs, and poems of the Usher for centuries. Sometimes he is folk, sometimes he's dwarf, sometimes he's merely a skeleton. He never speaks, but he guides the way to death and the next life. He also creates the circumstances for the wayward to stumble into their own graves. Yeah, Hiravius. Am I saying it wrong? Hiravius. Oh, Hiravius, not Hiravia. Okay. I was putting too much of a Latinized pronunciation on it. Hiravius. Okay. I'll probably just shorten that to Hira at some point. What can you tell me of the Paled Knight? She is the youngest manifestation of Berith, but a familiar one. Stories describe her as a gaunt knight in black armor, with black eyes, black hair, and pale and milk-pale skin. Hiravis, okay. I'm deleting letters in my brain, and my brain's not computing what you're trying to type. Hiravius. Vias. Oh, God. Hira. We're just going to call him Hira. I'm probably going to drive myself insane if I keep having to try. The worst part is his name's not even that hard compared to some of the other Celtic-style names we've been running into. She demands an impossible toll from travelers who have tarried too long on her lord's road. Some challenge her only to slay themselves in the process. Well, thank you for the information. All right, let's get moving. We're just gonna shorten it to Hira.
The life of a traveler. So many ruins to uncover, places to see.
Indeed. Though after 5 years, I'll be ready for a break.
It is true. You have been at it far longer than I. Where will you go next, when you have all the world to choose from?
Home, of course.
I was about to say, Kana, I saw that one coming. Where else would you like to explore? Kana, she's gonna go home. She literally has a husband and kids waiting for her. For God's sake, man. I mean, I get it. You're exuberant and all that, but still. Okay, that's pretty good, Tenwin. That's pretty good. Although, given his conversation topics so far, I don't think we want him as the hero. He can be the backup, don't get me wrong, but I don't think we want him to be doing the saving. Oh.
Good day to you.
House Harond Guard. Guard gives you an appraising eye. You've recently come to Deerfoot, I take it. Don't suppose you saw a young elven noblewoman on the road. I'm stuck in this wretched place with the rest of my unit till we find her. I'm afraid I haven't seen anyone like that. Same as everyone else in this blazing village. Perhaps you could go speak with Lord Harond at the end anyway. He'll be grateful for the assistance, and it would be the locals to open up about his daughter's disappearance more than they have us. Oh, wait, is this the same... No, the murder they said was an Orland, so not an elf. Okay, this is a separate quest. Oh, hello. What is that? Some alcohol and a grappling hook? On the map is their attack called the Grieving Widow. She's a companion, but I will put it lightly, she has the most writing out of any companion you talk to. Interesting. I'm assuming the Grieving Widow is the murderer that they're looking for, or is that somebody else? Hey, pigs. Villager. Adans, Tigrels. Solid 30 to 45 minutes. And that's just on the introduction? Well, I guess if we're gonna grab her, we need to go grab her now. Widow? Wrong? I mean... I will give it this. Her portrait is a bit haunting. Like, the way it just kind of stares at you. The middle-aged peasant woman is dressed in a brown leather cloth draped down to her knees. Her hands are working at separating stringy, colorless vegetables in a pile before her, stripping the heads off the long, fibrous stems with a paring knife. She discards the stems one by one, placing the heads of the vegetables into a small cradle-like basket in front of her. She doesn't greet you as you approach. You're not sure she even knows you're there. Okay. Excuse me? The woman doesn't respond. She just keeps stripping the heads from the vegetables in a steady rhythm. She may be deaf. Perhaps. There's no indication she heard you. Skip lady, is this a joke about people just skipping the dialogue because there's so much of it with her? Study the woman. At first glance, she seems nothing more than a middle-aged peasant woman, unremarkable, perhaps less stern than most, who seems more focused on the weaving in her lap than her surroundings. Yet you suddenly notice that she's not stripping the vegetables before her any longer. She's weaving, and the vegetable pots are now gone. She still pays you no mind, her brown locks torn and snagged from lack of washing. Like many of the townsfolk you've seen, there is a strange blur to her. Even the motions of her hands seem to be playing with threads that lack color in a shape that lacks interest. Okay. Oh, well, we'll see. It may be that she is half-minded or deaf or... No, something feels wrong. As you watch, her knitting takes on an odd cadence, and you have a terrible suspicion that something lurks beneath what your eyes are showing you. Focus on the woman. Her brown hair is long, almost impossibly, to the length of her hands. As you follow the streams of her locks downward, the hairs become long and black, splitting off into threads of black and silver, wrapping around her hands. She's forming a soul cradle with the threads braiding a net in front of you, each finger long and sharp like a series of knitting needles, almost hypnotic. The silver and black strands of her hair weave together, with silver predominating as a highlight, the black shadowing it. And suddenly you are calm. You are laying upon a plateau almost the height of a tower, several stories high. The plateau is like a table lying beneath a clear sky, and beneath that plateau, surrounding it in all directions, a forest, hazy with mist. Although whether it is an actual mist, or distance, or recollection. Resting in the curve of a natural arch above you is a great copper bell, half again the size of a man, hanging at attention, as if looking down on you, and the event unfolding before you. The plateau has soaked in the sun, and the rock beneath you is rough and warm. The sky forms a cradle around you. You feel different, not disembodied. You feel your body, your physical contours have changed along with the surroundings. And you hear a soft series of chimes, like wind chimes. At the sound, the scene gains color, texture, as if the sound is beckoning you gently forth, filling your senses and thoughts like mist roiling softly into a sealed chamber. And then, focus on the chimes. The chime coaxes you deeper into the memory, and you're certain it's a memory, a warm one. You're on the stones of the plateau, your knee on the warm texture of the ground, silver, white, shimmering. Adra? The plateau is formed of it. Glistening in the sun, you can feel the heat on your skin, your wrists, your hands. Your hands are in motion. Weaving, no, not thread, gathering, tenderly moving along the first movements of Barrett's wheel. Your hands are wet. Your hands are upon the flesh of a newborn child. You feel the crowning of a tiny head turning in your grip, its head slick and wet from the womb. The hands you are wearing, inhabiting, they have done this many times. They are practiced, confident. You feel distant pains in your own head as the head emerges, a stream of fluid from the womb helping the newborn slide forth, and a woman's labored breathing crying out. Focus on the child and the movement of the hands. As your hands move, you hear the sound of chimes again, clear, cutting through the haze of memory. You cannot see where they are coming from, but they are close. They are meant to be a comfort, of that you are certain. Draw the child forth. Coaxed by your hand, every movement causes the chimes to sound again, almost eagerly. The child comes forth, and as it does, your hands are in motion, weaving, moving along the length of a soft, wet rope. No, umbilical cord. From the legs of the naked woman before you are holding a small child, still wet from the wound. The child cries, its cries full of life, full of soul, the ringing of chimes echoing in its thoughts, filling it with its welcome. The soul is blurred along the edges as if you are viewing a soul from within a soul, but it is there, it is alive. The woman before you is weeping, and at her first cry, her hands reach out for it. Surrender the child. The child is surrendered to her, something you have done many times before. As your hands move, the chimes echo the movement, and you realize the chimes are hanging from cords on your wrist. Where they once echoed in the memory, they are now echoing within the child's mind as well. The chimes are intended to welcome the child, to be its first gentle greeting into the world, a soothing sound guided by the tender motions of one's wrists. You are helping to weave its thoughts, its perceptions, its experience, the experience. The woman laughs with a ragged joy, laughing from a parched throat. Her emotions seem soothed, but the physical demands of her labor have left her exhausted. But the child is here, the child is safe, and all atop the plateau is peaceful, calm, distant, flattening out as the memory persists. Slowly pull back. With effort, the scene bleeds of color. Your mind becomes your own once more. There is no pull, no anchor, but the sound of chimes remains. As they existed in the memory, they found here as well, and they are hanging from woven braids on the wrists of the woman sitting before you. Even as your head is spinning from the touch of her mind, the sound of the chimes on her wrists is sharp and clear, as if coaxing you back to the real world. The woman still sits before you, but she is nothing like what you first saw. She is wearing black, shredded garments that drape over her form like streamers. Her hair is streaks of black and run through with silver. Her age is impossible to tell. She simply feels old, like a crumbled watchtower. She finally lifts her head to see you, to face you, and to see that her hair is draped across the front of her face like a veil. What you first saw of her was a mental glamour of some sort, unconscious, and you realize that what you see is not what the world sees, and that perhaps you are the first to see her true self. You do not sense a threat in the realization. If anything, you feel a sense of relief from the figure. You can hear her thoughts, and she is glad at last to be seen. Who are you?
I am seen, but the eyes of others do not remember. You were the first to see me as I am, the call stripped aside.
There's a light touch on your mind, a caress. Her left hand mirrors the motion of the touch, reaching up to the air between you. You hear the chime on her wrist sound softly, and her hand moves as if pantomiming, resting on your cheek at a distance. She speaks softly and slowly.
Your memories. A cadence of wheels on a caravan track. Fever. Questions by running water. Violence in a night's campfire. Arrows in the dark. And fleeing. Falling rock and cracking stone. And a storm. The storm.
She stops, her hand frozen in the air. Is she a cipher as well?
The storm that brushed you. Did its screaming wake you from your mind's cradle? Your memory of it is painful. Its cry is difficult to ignore. It's like a child. Many children crying out.
I encountered a Beowick, yes, and it did something to me. Her hand withdraws shyly, the chimes sounding softly once again. The woman stands uncertainly as if she has been sitting for some time and is too weak to bear her own weight. You notice her cheekbones are tight, her face gaunt. While her stance is weak, she seems determined to stand before you.
You are able to see me.
It is almost a question. You suddenly realize she doesn't seem to know what you saw when you looked at her. The image on the plateau, so clear, so sharp, you're surprised she didn't feel you there.
To see me is a rare gift. A watcher's gift.
Oh, that's interesting. Requirement not met, but it's not telling me what the requirement is. We have not seen a couple of... I don't think we've seen any of those so far. It felt like a pathway between our minds, but strange, gentle.
So many questions, thoughts, whirling like storm winds. That storm still roars through you, deep beneath your thoughts, yet muted and secret, like an underground river. I cannot tell if it is carving new channels, or eroding what keeps your true strength buried. The fact that you could hear it at all, survive it, is something few have ever done. Your power will grow stronger with each soul you touch, as it allowed you to reach out to mine.
Okay. There is a silence, and although it seems to last for about a heartbeat, in your thoughts it stretches out between the two of you, like a pole between minds. You blink, take a breath, and then you realize she wants to ask you a question, but can't form the words, as if assembling them is painful, or there simply are not enough pieces. You wish to travel with me. You feel a wave of fear, gusted with a strength of relief, although oddly her expression does not change. The fear then dissipates. You feel strength, certainty, as if the plateau from her memory lies beneath you, and a calm sky looks down upon you. Oh. Oh. Great, we have to make this decision again. Yeah, Cypher, grieving mother, no name yet. Shit. Problem is that to do her quest, you need to keep her in your party for a significant time. Okay. Guess for right now, we'll drop
Farewell.
Sagani and we'll grab her for a little bit. Oh, geez, yeah, she is black on black. Just nothing but black clothing and nothing but black hair. She's also got a nice spread of stats. I think we'll do the same thing we did before. We'll give her a little bit of survival, a little bit of athletics so that everybody gets that. She will randomly talk to you at rest, and it's very easy to not see happen. Okay. Well, we know Ice Strike is always a good spell. We know that, where is it? Draining Whip is always a good first ability. I guess we will keep... We'll keep her lore going higher, I guess. Well, actually... I guess we could do her as a stealth cipher. That would be interesting. Make her even more of a traditional kind of roguish style character. Psycho Vampiric Shield is always good. Debuffs the enemy and gives you a buff. And then Amplified Thrust is always good for damage plus throwing the enemy back. Yeah, you know what? We'll do that. Mental Binding, straight up paralysis, always good. Go with greater focus, more spellcasting. Go, and we'll grab Soul Ignition just for the damage, always a good idea. And we'll grab Secret Horrors for her. We'll grab the big debuff. Keep the stealth going up. Fractured Volition gives hobbled on foe target. Hobbled and weakened. 2 reduction to might and constitution and 2 reduction to dexterity. Yeah, we'll go with that. And then we will grab Biting Whip for increased damage. Okay. Ooh, 17 intellect to start. Okay. 17 intellect, 16 dex. Her damage isn't that high, but cipher abilities don't necessarily require that. She has fine padded armor, expected, and a fine dagger. I have to wonder if she would want to be a more dual wielding kind of character, considering the 16 dex, that or a fast firing ranged attack, which the crossbow is not the best choice for. I suppose... we don't really have a fine dagger right now, unfortunately, so I can't pair it up with her there. So we'll keep her as it is for right now. And it probably fucked up my formation again. Yeah, it did. Get you up here. Keep... I guess we can keep her as a secondary line. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. Got that. Alright, let's finish up exploring around here. Oh, I really didn't want to... I'm sorry. I need to run to the restroom real fast. I was hoping to be able to hold it until the end of stream, but I really can't. I will be right back, guys. I'm sorry about this. And I'm back. Did you just steal Whiteley from the box you lost? I lost rep? What? Ader has been caught stealing. Oh, you have lost reputation with Deerford Village Slight. You've gained an item. St. Gyron. Oh, yeah, so that box was... Oh, I'm an idiot. Just reached in the box and took shit. Okay, that was not the best move on my part, I will admit. Hendane's Apothecary, Winford's Arms and Armory, Peggle's Curiery, the Dracogen Inn, and the Deerford Mill. Alright, well let's keep moving. We still got some time. That's just wait, what? A ledger lies open on the desk. It lists purchases and sales amounts for various alchemical ingredients and concoctions. That is a sack.
Finished.
Oh, we got free experience for that at least. And that is a potion of major endurance. That is more white leaf. Has a slightly funny trait. Shift into evil playthrough in 3, 2. Yeah, suddenly we just go full and take nothing but aggressive options. Start beating the shit out of people.
Greetings.
A young woman leans against a wagon. One arm and one side of her face are covered in bandages with raw, rippled flesh showing underneath. A minty, tangy scent wafts from her dressing. She smiles painfully. Just ventured into town? I'm about dry on some of my stock, but you're welcome to have a look-see. Slightly musing with her, remember you're the only one that saw her like this. Everyone else sees her as an average middle-aged woman without anything special, so your current party is very confused if they notice or remember her at all. Interesting. Yes, as far as I can remember, you can still... Yes, we have grabbed a couple of items while stealth. I just did not realize that the random box behind a guy's house was marked for stealing, because most of the time that's only on the indoor places. Why are your stocks limited? Ah, it's the damn roads. Can't reach none of my suppliers, and I'm stuck with whatever I can scrounge up in the wood, mainly deer cap, river reed, and the like. That's all well and good, but most potions require something stronger. Troll skin, vessel bone, you know, that kind of thing. And then you got the really rare stuff. Things you'd never be able to form, let alone find on your own. What did you find? Hendane winces at the rest of the story comes tumbling out of her. I've been keeping an eye on a drake's nest east of town, Deerford's Crossing. The beast stayed just long enough to lay a clutch and moved on. Thank the Sky Mother it wasn't a full-grown dragon. She looks at her bandaged arm and grimaces. Fresh eggs are way more useful than the ones that get passed between merchants or left in nests for weeks or more. And that clutch looked to be at its peak. I thought I'd see about getting an egg, but I didn't realize so many of them had already hatched. Or that young worms were so territorial. I could see about getting an egg for you. She keeps her gaze steady, but you see hope kindling in her eyes and twitching at the corners of her mouth. I sure hope you're not leading me on. I don't think I could stand getting burned again. She bites her lip. But if you really mean to go after it, I can certainly pay you. Just remember, big as they are, they're fragile, and there's a lot more I can do with a whole one.
Greetings.
Anything else? What can you tell me about dragon eggs? Well, it's in the cliff, perched in the cliff at the east end of Deerfoot Crossing. That's out in the wilds just east of here. Sure, there's others, but the one at Deerfoot Crossing is just the age I need. If you head out that way, be careful. The place was crawling with already hatched worms when I went out there, and I can't imagine they've gone anywhere else. I'm assuming that's how you got burned? By the flame, how bad does it look? Just say it, I need you to tell me straight. Honestly, it looks like it hurts a lot. That's a mighty soft way of putting it. She laughs ruefully. I told you about the run-in with the worms, I reckon you can put the rest together already. I'm looking for an Orlan woman named Nifri. Well, I did see an Orlan lady heading into the Dracogen just the other day. She points across the road at a large building. Didn't know what her name was, but she was acting real sneaky-like. What else do you know about the roads? Brigands, looters, you name it. The gods may be hollowing out our babies, but its grown folk are rubbing out the rest of us. A noise of disgust rattles from her throat. People are scrambling to get to Defiance Bay because they hear there's healthy births there, and all the refugees and abandoned homes attract all the desperate sorts like flies on dog shit. Let me see what you do have. Potion of Major Endurance. Restores 100 endurance. Very nice. Oh, Noxious Burst Trap. I can go ahead and sell that to her. Well, actually, no. I like keeping... we'll make sure we sell that only to innkeepers. The innkeepers tend to be the place that I drop everything off so that it doesn't get in the way of anybody else's
Can you
inventory.
smell the oily notes of brain fat in the air? Cured leather always makes me so hungry.
Okay, Hira. I was expecting somebody to comment on that, given what he just said. But, okay, hold on. These barrels are not marked as stealing. Okay. Thank you. What is this part? Oh, it's more of the guards that are asking about the lady. Wait a second. Oh, that is a house. That is a house. Yeah, the legacy is not 100% universal, but part of the problem is that it may not be universal because that would be incredibly bad, but it's also just straight up not something that people have been able to figure out very well either. Hello. What does this lead to? Eyes filled with the wooden vats, they smell of dung and plant matter. Yep. Welcome to one of the worst smelling jobs in the history of humanity, having to cure leather.
Hail and well met.
A sturdy, broad-shouldered man wipes his hands on his slacks, and he reeks of the same foul compound wafting from the vats, his arms stained with dyes. You looking to purchase leather? What exactly is in the collapsed tower? It's collapsed. Nothing. He rolls his eyes and shrugs. A few hides on stretching racks, and the tallow stench Dangler's always grumbling about. The rest of the keep's dust, just like the fool Lady Thanu. Lady Thanu, who tried to hold it. As a bard at the inn who'll tell you the whole blazing story if you want to hear it. Yeah, well, it's more than piss. It's more than piss. But yes, that's the least of your problems. Let me see what you have for sale. Oh, he's got some daggers. He's got some hide armor. Oh, okay, so this is medium and lighter armors, I'm imagining. Yeah. Recovery speed. Is that better than my... No. The Girdle of Mortal Protection. 27% reduced crit damage taken. That's not bad. He wants 800 for that, though. Oh. This belt has been crafted from the mossy hide of a forest troll, with intertwined vines and leaves forming a solid, resistant piece of clothing. Any damage done to the belt tends to be obscured by new growth, for the moss and small plants which grow upon the belt retain life. Although the resulting effect is somewhat like wearing an herb garden around one's waist. The piece of hide holds some of the troll's power, granting the wearer the creature's ability to recover from wounds. Interesting. The problem is, 1 endurance per 3 seconds is really not that much. If it was like 1 health and it allowed me to restore health out of combat, it would be great, but it's only restoring endurance. And quite frankly, 1 endurance per 3 seconds is really bad. The Girdle of Mortal Protection, on the other hand, reducing all crit damage that Adair takes might be good. I'm certainly not going to say no to something like that.
Sure.
Stay out of my private quarters. That goes for you and Harlan's booklookers. Okay. Have you heard of a Orlan woman named Knifrey from Defiance Bay? I make it a point to keep out of other people's business. Alright, alright. As long as you have 1 endurance, you won't die. True, but most enemies do way more than 1 endurance worth of damage, so it's not like I'm gonna get knocked down to 1 endurance and going up to 2 endurance is gonna save me.
Your brother, did you and he get along?
We got along how brothers do. He used to throw water on me to wake me up in the morning. I used to fill his boots with stinging ants.
My own brothers and sisters are doing very well for themselves, back in Takoa. I don't know that they'd search for me if I were killed so far from home.
Brothers can be funny. I bet you'd be surprised how far they'd go.
That's nice of you, Adir, trying to cheer him up a little bit. Oh, let's go ahead and grab those. More of House Heron's guards. This is the road that leads out of town, leads up towards the ruins, so we don't want to go that way just yet. Okay, so I think that's just going to leave the mill and the inn right now. Yep, they're still questioning everybody. That... yeah, nothing I want any there. Let's check out the mill. Alright, what have we got in here? Grain and flour and more grain. Big surprise. The mill slowly grinds away at a trough of grain. And those are unnamed characters, so they probably don't have any conversations. So, well, that I don't know why that existed. I'm assuming something will happen in there that we'll have to go back in there for.
With the cat's nose, how is it you failed to notice your rotten stench?
Failed to notice? Hardly. I put work into smelling this way.
I should have expected.
I never know what sort of game is downwind. I need to smell like part of nature, not an interloper.
Oh, I already have a feeling that Durance and Hira are not going to get along at all. When the raggedy priest is already complaining about the other guy's body odor, this is not going to go well for everyone involved. The table has been scarred and stained from decades of use. Okay. Someone named Sid. Aorn. Hey, wait a second.
I just want to find her. Surely even you can understand that.
We're decent folk, my lord. Perhaps you should leave and check the wilds.
Why, it's you! Oh, thank you, friend. You've given me another chance. I mean to make the most of it. I've been telling everyone around here how you've helped me. Hey, that makes up for the stupid decision I made to go rifling through somebody's frickin' box. Oh, that's nice. It's not enough to get me to the next rank, but at least it makes up for me stealing shit. Okay, House Heron is over there. Those are backer characters. We got some more things over there. Let's check back here. Heavy sweet perfume emanates from the barrels. The stave joints are stained dark brown and dull purple. Oh. Okay. What do you think you're doing in the kitchen? I was wondering when someone was going to call me out on that.
Gods keep you.
The innkeeper digs inside a mug with a dirty rag. His eyes under his thick brows are tired but watchful. Gives you a quick nod as you approach the bar. Don't see many travelers these days. What can I do for you? What was that with the nobleman? He looks up from his polishing his tankard and glowers at the lord. Folks around here decent. They mind their own business. You want to stick your nose in it? Go talk to him yourself. I have questions about Deerford. He runs his rag around the rim of the mug. Then ask. Have you seen an Orlan named Knifrey? Pretty lady, that one. Tell me about... I love that. Have you seen her? Yeah, seen her. Where is she? I don't fucking know. Walk from one bridge to the next and you've seen it. We're quiet, hard-working folk. We keep to ourselves and we don't take to being pushed around. Glares at the well-dressed man standing off to the side. Used to be a castle here, built by some family from the Adiran Thanes back when the Empire came. Only one tower still standing. That part is Triggle's shop now. Sid, barred by the fire, could spin you a yarn if you're so inclined. And who lives in Deerford? Not many anymore. It's hard to keep people around when everyone seems to be birthing hollowborns, but we've got a few who stick around and do business. Trigill's the leather courier. Hendane crafts potions. Winfrith trades in general goods. Rumbald's a pig farmer, or was, anyways. Okay, why don't we start with Trigill? Well, he's a courier. Treats leather, makes good armor and a few goods with it. Problem is, the smell of the tallow and the deer shit tends to put people off their food, and his shop is just next door. What about Hendane? Oh, lady's a clever hand with potions, poultices. Got herself into trouble with a nest of worms, so I hear. Her cart's just east end of the town. Winfrith? Been around even longer than I have. Nice enough fellow, but never could find his way into the end of a sentence. His shop's across the square. Oh yeah, with all of us facing away from the bar and talking to the dude. Somehow we ended up in a conversation like this. I take it something has happened to Rubald's pigs. A damn ogre carried them off. Now he squeals more his herd ever did. It is rotten luck. He shrugs. Oh, at the tannery next to the inn? Yeah, okay, fair enough. Sorry, I took one look at the screen and I just suddenly realized that all of us are facing away from the guy that we're ostensibly supposed to be talking to. Let's go back to a previous question. You said you don't get many travelers out this way. Of course not. Why would anyone come here? We've been having bandits on the road, an ogre in the forest, and that yapping fool Rumball will tell you. Worse yet, we haven't had a healthy child born here in over a year. Most kith that come here are just passing through. About that ogre. Nah, you don't hardly see him this close to town. Ogres and kith don't mix well. Ugly bastards, but they're smart enough to know that much. You want to know more, talk to Rumbald. He's southwest of here. Alright. I'd like to order food and drink. You are a barkeep, so I will go ahead and sell off all of this extra shit that we've got right now. Do we need another arquebus? We don't need another arquebus, and it's not a better arquebus, so it's not going to go on Kana. Greatsword. These are all the Novus Grimoires that we saw from earlier. They should have the identical spells, which means that Aloth already has all of them, so we don't have to worry about that. Sell all that. Come on, all of it. There we go. Dragon meat dish. Bullshit! Tough, gamey, and monstrously hard to cook, dragon meat makes for a rich, fatty meal that is said to transfer the beast's strength and power to those who use it. Now, to be fair, Tenwin, it may not be a fully grown dragon's meat, but if the process of their life is to go from worm to drake to dragon, they might have gotten their hand on some worm or drake meat, and they're just passing it up as dragon meat, which technically, since it's the same species, it's technically dragon meat. It's just not fully dragon meat. We'll keep the extra... I don't know. Some of these are... I really feel like I almost feel like you'd be better off just deciding everyone wears heavy armor at some point, because it really doesn't feel like you gain much from having the increased speed. The dragon egg you can buy, but not the meat. Well, as I'm saying, it's not a full-grown dragon's meat. It's a dragon baby's meat that was a lot easier to find and slightly easier to deal with without dying horribly. Oh, the clothing's kind of looking nice. Ugh. No, we don't need the robes, that's for damn sure. Don't need that many pieces of brigandine. Honestly, we don't need any brigandine at all because we have 2 sets of fine brigandine. Sell off the hide armor. Padded. Keep the clothing and the priest stuff for right now. Yeah, we'll just sell off the non-fine stuff down here. All this junk. And the books. Books. Pelts. Fangs. And I think that's just about it. Yep, that's the crafting items. You think the bots could come up with something more original than best viewers on and whatever the fuck they tried to link. Like, you can't even try. Like, it's not even, like, best viewers. What does that even mean? Like, what dipshit on Twitch is going to click on that? We're not complete idiots anymore. Like, at least put some attempt into your scam. If you can't even do that, then stop bothering everybody. They've been very aggressive. They've also been bypassing the filter, because most of the time when they do that, they show up as potential, like, it shows up on my OBS stream chat as, like, potential issue or potential problem, and it doesn't show up in the chat log that shows up on screen. It just shows up in the chat for you guys. And yeah, the link doesn't show because I've had it set up so that links don't get put in. I watch enough streamers on my own time to know that pretty much nobody, quite literally nobody on Twitch lets their chat just post links in the chat. You either have to ask a mod for permission or you have to do something like that. Hasn't banned often enough yet. I mean, well, that's the thing. As long as they only post a link that then gets blocked, I don't care. Interaction is interaction. If their bots want to show up on my stream and put stuff in that then makes it easier for me to get affiliate, then I don't fucking care. You know some channels? Well, I don't know the channels. Every single streamer I've ever watched has blocked links. Like, nobody is dumb enough to have that shit on anymore. Or almost nobody. There we go. 3,000. 3,000. That more than pays for all of our issues with that we've been spending money on. We've only got a little bit longer. It's good practice. Yeah, as I said, I literally can't think of any channel that I watch that allows people to just post links. Usually, if anyone is allowed to post links, it's the mods, and that's it. Painting depicting a forested ravine. Oh. Okay, well, I wasn't expecting that to be her. I saw hooded and I assumed it would be the frickin' cultists. The Orlin hovers by the window, peering out of it every few seconds. As you enter the room, she watches you carefully, her hand hovering over her stiletto. She cranes her head to peer behind you. Anyone follow you? Who sent you? Someone told me that a certain Orlin by the name of Nefri was responsible for heinous killings in Defiance Bay. Oh, let me guess, and that someone's name was Medrith. She draws her blade. It's a lie, plain and simple. I got on the wrong side of his employers and now he's after me. But if you're here to do dirty work, I won't make it easy. Relax. I want to hear your side of the story. What story? The Dominels came after me. I just happened to rob the wrong place. How was I supposed to know they'd already claimed it? She runs her hands under her hood and through her hair. It was an honest mistake. I am just trying to survive now. And if you spoke with Medrith, you know that he's waiting. So I'm asking you that if you're going to get involved, please help me out. Then I suggest you go east. Medrith's currently waiting for you on the west side of the riverbank. All right, I'm trusting you. Not that I have much of a choice. If you can, send him the other way. That might buy me some time. She follows the hooded figures towards the stairs, giving you a final uncertain glance as she passes through the door. It's a good thing we read that book about House Domino, because that, yeah, they seem like fairly shady operators of all things considered.
Thoughts will be as silent as my feet.
Oh, hello. The Admin Hadra. Oh, yeah, why not? Oh, and she gave me 750 copper. Sweet. That pays for most of my issues. There's a variation of the bots that follows you, says a generic greeting, waits a minute or two, and then throws a... Yeah, I've had 2 of those who will send me a thing like, wow, I really liked your stream. And then they'll be like, why don't you check out this? And then they'll post a link to someplace, and I'm just like, ha ha ha, fuck you.
I've got it. Finished.
Evil playthrough of stealing is happening. It's just a little bit of stealing. Technically, this was Nefri's room, and she left. Which means it's, you know, she's gone and she's never coming back.
Get it open. Finished.
Ooh, money. Anything in here? Nope. Painting portrays the expansive foothills below the mountains of White March. Hello. Oh. Quarterstaff, 2-handed, crush damage, weapon reach, restore minor endurance 3 times per rest. 10? That's it? Staff is topped by an emerald green orb. Between two wing-like protrusions, the long, slender stave is banded and reinforced with gold casings. Alright. I mean, ain't nobody gonna be using that. You don't have many viewers, blah. Nah, not worth the cast time. Now, as I said, if they want to show up in chat and just spam chat, or not spam, but, you know, drop a message occasionally in chat, that actually is fine for my analytics. It shows up as unique chatters showing up in my thing. It makes my analytics look better. But, like, other than that, I just don't fucking care. This... Ooh, the Moon's VR. We actually haven't read this. I'm not going to take it, because that would be stealing, but we can read it. Look up into the night sky and you'll see the moon Balafa. Ubiquitous and persistent, she remains forever in view, but also forever out of reach. What many people do not know, however, is that our world is actually orbited by two, Balafa and Kaldua. Kalda. Okay. Balafa. Hanging low and large in the sky, Balafa's travels swiftly in her race around the world, completing an orbit in roughly 18 days. The proximity and speed can cause extreme tide conditions in some areas, making the sea shift so quickly and rise so high that there are some beautiful coast areas that are virtually uninhabitable for a good portion of the year. Before we learned the truth behind the cause of the tides, legends held that Ondra, the goddess of the sea, who was in love with the moon, and when she saw it in the sky, the tides, great waves, and violent storms that happened were her attempts to reach it. This is why the moon is formally called Sen Balafa, or Ondran's Balafa. The beloved, or Ondra's beloved. Kauldha. 315 years ago, the Grand Empire of Valia suffered from terrible storms and terrifying high and low tides. Records show the same thing was happening in the Adir Empire, and that several new Adiran colonies along the Deerwood coast were completely destroyed by storms and high tides that engulfed the settlements. At the time during an eclipse, an Glenfathan astronomer spotted something small orbiting near the edge of Balafa. After much study, they realized it was a small satellite with an extremely irregular orbit. They called it Kalda Deb, or the Black Runner. Since it was much smaller than Balafa, it doesn't have much effect on the world, but when it aligns with Balafa's orbit, it wreaks havoc on the tides and weather everywhere. This happens with an erratic frequency and severity, and they have been dubbed lovers' tides. Kalda has been rolled into the Ondra myth, and when they are both in sight, her desire to reach them is increased tenfold, which is what causes the terrible weather. Ah, so Ondra is a goddess who cannot be satisfied by a single lover. She needs two. Looks up into the sky. Sorry, that is beyond my abilities. We are on a 2D isometric plane. Not even gonna happen. 2 moons equals bad. I mean, yes. I mean, if they are following the usual stellar mechanics that we know of for this kind of stuff, yes, that unironically would be bad for a planet with tidal forces. It would absolutely wreak havoc on people. Let me take a sip. A redhead stands by the fire, tuning her lute and plucking its strings. She hums snatches of a melody as she goes. First time at the Dracogen? Normally I'd have a song ready, but I haven't quite worked out this tune yet. Writing some chants about the founding of the inn. Oh, are you interested in the story? I haven't finished the chants, but I could tell you all the same. Sure, let's have it. Oh, excellent. These rustic fables are always great fun. Oh, let me get something to write with. I love Kana. I love Kana. Oh yeah, it's more like an asteroid or whatever. I know, because technically it's not a moon. It would be classified as a satellite or a natural satellite or something. So yeah, I don't even pay attention to that bullshit. It was built in the time of Hadrit's Rebellion, and Adiran Lady Thanu. Oh, so Thanu is the feminine form of Thane. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. And Adiran Lady Thanu once had a keep here. One of the towers still stands, but the rest is said to be buried under the village. Anyway, she stuck to the side of the Empire, and a contingent of Duke Hadrit's Knights of the Crucible helped the farmers and colonists in the area turn her keep to rubble. The inn was the first building that sprang up from the ruins, built with some of the same bricks the colonists had pulled from the Lady Thanu's castle. They say, at least. Supposedly, the quarterstaff of her chief wizard even got lost in the construction, mortared into a wall or nailed under a floorboard. Ah, funny story about that. Anyway, the inn was supposed to be a haven and meeting place while the locals built their new town. What do you mean, supposed to be? Well, the Deerwoodens are an ornery lot, and the more the new neighbors met, the more they argued, and they realized they didn't agree on much other than ousting the old lord. The biggest divide was over the Glenfathans and the nearby ruins. Hadrit's Knights and their supporters wanted to keep the peace, but a group of local misfits with a more anarchic leaning that had formed in town wanted to go to the tribes the same way they'd gone after the Adirans. Soon, the villagers were fighting with each other as much as with the Adirans. In the end, the memories of the Broken Stone War and the War of the Black Trees were fresh enough that the Duke's soldiers won the day. Most of the other villages came around eventually, but a few of the core troublemakers left to join the front lines in the War of Defiance, and others. I've heard they found their way into the Gilded Compass, the most forward-looking of the Glenfathan tribes. I don't know if I believe that part myself, but it makes for a good story. She points to the east wall. There's a portrait of one of the chief rabble-rousers and his rival in the peacekeeping faction. Someone's idea of a joke. I don't think they were particularly amused. What could you tell me of the Broken Stone War? The first major military conflict between the Adiran settlers and the Glenfathans. Happened about 3 years into the colonization when some farmers knocked over an Adra menhir that was part of an Ingwithan ruin nearby. War didn't last long, but it spread quick and it claimed thousands. In the early weeks, most of the colonists didn't even realize what was going on until the Glenfathan raiders started hitting everyone. They'd been small, spontaneous skirmishes between the colonists and the locals before that, but this was organized. It was the start of decades of violence between the two sides. And as you can see, Deerwood's full of history, even in little villages like this. What about the War of the Black Tree? Started back in the colonial days, about 30 years or so after the Stone War. Even though isolated conflicts still broke out between the settlers and the Glenfathans, both sides had officially agreed to peace. Edrang Hadrat, Admeth's father, was Gref at the time. As part of peace negotiations, he signed treaties prohibiting Adiran colonists from looting the ruins. However, he'd been unable to outlaw the use of captured Glenfathans as slaves. What exactly is the title of Gref? Gref is the governor of a colony, and subservient to the Adiran Emperor. The early leaders of the Adir colony in Deerwood, including Edrang and Admeth Hadrat, were Grefs. At the start of the War of Defiance, Admeth Hadrat declared himself Duke of an independent Deerwood rather than a Gref of a colony. It was the same term used for leaders of the newly independent Valian republics. Anyway, we haven't had a Gref since. I see. Indeed, the taking of Glenfathan slaves had continued to be a source of conflict between the two sides. It came to a head when Imperial agents, aided by certain earls in the Deerwood, began looting the ruins again in the middle of a battle. See, the Empire never officially agreed to Hadrat's treaties on the matter, and the recent secession of the republics likely left them eager to weaken Hadrat's position. The looting sparked a brutal slave uprising and a guerrilla campaign amongst the Glenfathans. Edrang Hadrat was too old to lead forces in a battle, and so he sent his son, Admeth. Admeth made a costly but effective decision that ended the war faster than anyone could have imagined. He completely burned the forest near the Iskine River in order to keep the Glenfathan warbands from retreating. Thousands of Glenfathans died, and as Admeth repeated his scorched earth tactics in the following months, he wore down the remainder of their forces. To this day, 150 years later, there are still sections of the Deerwood where the trees are nothing but bare, charred husks. Surprised we don't get Kira commenting on this. I would love to hear the Glenfathans' perspective on some of these matters, because so far we've gotten nothing but the Adiran colonists and the Deerwoodans' perspective. I would love to see how his people think about some of these. Although it does seem like, at least based on what they've said, that they do at least respect Admeth, because he was willing to talk to them as equals. Well, I was just trying to get everything else out of the way. Oh, here we go. The portrait depicts a man and a woman dressed in a Adira garb that would have been in style a century ago. The heavy frame has been battered, and the plate that once bore the patron's name has been scratched out. They share a passionate embrace which seems at odds with the disgust on their faces. Interesting. And now for the Lord. The man wears a deer-style robe, simple but elegant. Fine leather shoes, looks like they were made for padding around indoors, but they've been caked with mud. He yanks at a lock of hair twined around his silk-gloved fingers, his fine features etched with anxiety.
My child is out there. Do they not understand?
My lord, we're doing everything we can. Unfortunately, these villagers...
Beasts take them all. I don't care how you do it, but find her.
Excuse me, sir. I heard you arguing with the innkeeper.
A petty, small-minded man, just like the rest of them around here. I've been paying him an honest fee for board and bed, and yet he can't be bothered to stir himself to concern for my Alice.
Your child is missing, I take it.
Yes, Lady Alice, my daughter.
Tugs at the fingertips of his gloves.
I've asked around, but nobody in this mud hole has any concerns beyond their swine. They turn my men away like beggars and seem downright pleased to be of no use. But you're not one of my soldiers. And you look like you're used to getting your hands dirty, if you don't mind my saying so.
My lord, his guard leads in. Herond raises a hand to silence his man. If you find her, he nibbles the thumb of one silk glove, tell her I won't be upset with her. She can come back. All will be well. I just want to be sure that my Alice, my child, is safe. Nothing in the world is more important to me. I'd like to ask a few more
Elise.
questions of your daughter.
Of course.
He blinks at you and licks his lip. Could you describe her for me? She's a striking young woman, bears more resemblance to her mother than to me. Auburn hair, delicate, well-bred features. 28 or 29 now. How do you not know your daughter's age? Tell me about the disappearance. We'd stopped in Deerfoot for a few days. On our 4th evening here, I was making plans to continue our journey. Lady Elise was feeling unwell and went to bed. When I retired a couple hours later, I found she had vanished. None of my men had seen her go, none in the inn knew where she was. Since then, my people have been combing the village, but we've yet to find a clue, and the locals have been of no help. Why did you and Elise come to Deerfoot? Merely a stop along the way to Ina's Rest. However, she took ill shortly before arrival. It seemed prudent to allow a few days to recover. What is in Ina's Rest? He frowns as if about to protest, but then sighs. Lady Elise has reached an age where it is prudent for her to marry. Given this legacy business, I cannot let her fertile years slip by, nor do I want her womb to fester in the presence of so many hollowborn. No, we will not be suggesting that he look into Lord Radric. That sounds like a horrible idea. I trust Lord Radric to keep the peace in the region. I don't trust him in quite literally anything else. It seems there would be more potential suitors in New Haomar or New Yarma. You think I haven't considered that? Arranging a suitable match is difficult. The best prospects for my child lay in Ina's Rest. Where would the rest of your family be? Surely they wouldn't want to miss your daughter's betrothal. Lady Harrand is ill-suited for travel, I'm afraid, and unfortunately Elise has few other close relatives. My sister and her husband, Alice's aunt and uncle, of course, have been visiting Adia these past few months. He rubs his knuckles. As for siblings, Alice has none. My wife has only given birth to hollowborn since Alice, that is. The fact that he keeps using her name rather than saying my daughter in a lot of cases is a bit weird, but it could be a nobility kind of thing for this setting. I see. Back to your daughter. Previous questions. Can you tell me more about yourself,
I'm Lord
sir?
Nestor Harrand of Defiance Bay. My family has been prominent there since Imperial times. Our primary estate is on the outskirts of Brackenbury, but we have holdings in New Haomar as well. Those went to my sister and her husband.
All right. I'll see what I can do. And with that, we will be finished up for the day. So I thank you all for joining me. Thank you for sitting through my rampant salt at about the halfway point of the stream, because that was pretty bad. That was pretty bad, I'll admit. And when we come back on Wednesday, we will continue with the side quest extravaganza that is Deerford Village, apparently. Because we just keep finding more and more of these things. Oh, we won't get too many druids. That's my main fear, is I'm pretty sure the Glenfothans have a lot of druids, so we're going to have to deal with it one way or the other. Alright, let's make a hard save. I don't really feel like raiding anybody today, so I'm just going to leave you all right now, and we're going to end the stream here. I hope you all had a great Monday, glorious Monday, and I will see you all on Wednesday for the next session. Looking forward to Wednesday. Thank you, Tenwin, and I'm glad to have you guys all here. You too, Sin. You all have a good one. So I hope you all have a glorious rest of your day, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.